Well, if it's not gonna pop up, I don't know the point. Alright. Is it gonna pop up now? Because I got a few things I gotta do. There we go. I gotta post this in the chat, then I gotta post the link in the other place. Because I know for a damn fact it didn't do it on its own. Even though it's supposed to. Alright. Welcome in. And sure, what do you need the cards pulled on? And we will get that pulled for you. And that should go there. Are we good with that? Love and career. Okay, I got you. Let me post that there. Let me get that pinned. Alright. Alright, well, welcome in everyone regardless. Hopefully we're feeling good. And I'll go ahead and get your reading started. So first, your first card is the Empress Reverse. So there is a lack of nourishing within these departments of career and love. At the end of the day, the best advice to give you with the first card being the Empress Reverse is always choose a career that you're going to love. And if you ever fall out of love with the career, it's because it hasn't changed with you. It either needs to be left in the past or move forward with you. So if you're having issues in both career and in love, take a closer look at both of those aspects of your life and see where it really lays at. See what isn't working for you. You know, love doesn't have to be romantical. It can be within friendships. It can be within hobbies that you do. There's certain things that could be falling off to allow you to be more free, allow you to be more nurturing towards self, and allow yourself to see more of what's around you. There might be a narrow pointed view when it comes to career or finance, or when it comes to career or love. It could have something to do with finance, or just wanting to make sure that you find the one. But you're never going to find the one looking outside of you. You're always going to find the one looking within. So take that time to really scope out what you're desiring when it comes to love or when it comes to career. We have the Two of Cups because there is a disconnect with yourself. There's not a disengagement, but I won't even say a lack of cooperation. It's a dissonance between you and your actual actions that you're wanting to take, between the actual spiritual version of you, the energetic version of you, the version of you that has the ambition and the desire to do, versus this masculine output where things aren't being outputted correctly. So again, definitely look within and see what aspects that need to be worked on. Because at the end of the day, it could come down to your five senses not wanting to deal with love because you're overdrained, might be putting much effort into some things that aren't giving back to you. But really take time for nourishment at this time to smooth both those waters out, because there's some form of action that you're doing that isn't giving back to you. It's just constantly outputting. Have I been? I've been well. I've been well. I cannot complain. How do you protect yourself from egregores? Egregores are thought forms that have a collective feeling, or as most people know it, emotion attached to it. The only way to protect yourself from egregores is getting up your mental defense. Believe nothing until you truly see it, you know. Believe only what you know. And you only know things by experiencing them, not by just believing that it had occurred, right? A belief only gets you so far. So when working with against egregores, treat them the same way that you would a parasite or just another form of low vibrational or low tolerable thought that you're dealing with when it comes down to egregores. So really just work on mental defense. There's not really it's not hard to explain, but the way the way that I'm going to explain it is going to take you in a complete circle. But even though it's a thought form that we agree to and hold to and subscribe to, it's a thought form that can be generated from outside forces, really. So knowing that you aren't other people's perspectives, you're not other people's thoughts or other people's words. What you are is who you are. You're not the byproduct of anything other than mother and father who gave birth to you. So just remembering that heavily. I don't know of any like frequencies. You can do like Archon removals and listen to those frequencies, and those could help. I don't know if there's an exact egregore remover. At least I haven't found one yet. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? I forgot to do that one thing completely. Yikes, I'll do that later. You're doing alright? I feel that. You've been sick, figuring out. I can't really tell you why you've been sick. There's a plethora of reasons behind that. Getting a tarot card reading isn't really gonna help you with that. That's not really what tarot is used for. What was that frequency? Here, I'll just type it in. Well, that didn't work because I'm not on the right site. That would have been good. I can send a video though, and it should probably just link to another one somewhere throughout. There's that one. This one's good. I've used this one a lot. That should be it. Yes, it looks like it is. I don't want to post my live in there. Yeah, it is. All right. Oh, Mercury's been out of retrograde for a while. I think it's been about like a week. Or it's either about to be a week or it's been about a week. One of those two. But Mercury's been out of retrograde for a fat minute. How Colby's feeling towards me? That's not how tarot works, so you won't be able to ask that. Tarot is used to ask questions about you and yourself and your connection with the divine on that self. On 4-7. I don't know. I got noticed before 4-7 about that, but just with misinformation and how it is, it's just how it be. I've been noticing a lot of my old videos are getting traction. So I have a bunch of people who are interested in those types of readings. I don't give them any more of those old style readings. And it's just been a really weird thing to deal with, I guess. But I'm good. There's not a big industry with like private readings for those types of situations anyway. And at least on a public notion. And welcome in, welcome in. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? How are we all doing? You know, that I was thinking about that earlier today too. Before I even hopped on stream, like I took an hour 30-minute nap before I came on just to like reset, and I was thinking about it before then too. It's probably because a lot of my focus has been on this egregore project in the background, trying to like soften its blow on the grand scheme of things, because you can't get rid of it completely, because that's an individual's work at the end of the day. But I was thinking about like a lot of modern day spiritualists are really looking to be idolized. And I don't know. It's just weird. Because if you look at all these people, and you know how the world works, which is you can only communicate with people as deeply as you've communicated with yourself, right? Doesn't matter if it's going to apologizing to someone, doesn't matter if it's asking someone out. As long if you can do it to yourself, you can do it to another, because through you is how it's going to happen. A lot of these people are giving out the same messages and stuff because they're really not as deep as you think they are. You can have knowledge, but it doesn't mean you're wise. You know what I mean? Like, there's a huge difference with that, and it just kind of dawned on me. Like, it's not that it hasn't been obvious, right? But it's those moments where you know something, and it's not that you find the answer. It's that it's like, what is it? It's not. It is revealed. It wouldn't be recovered. It'd be revealed. Yeah. So like, it was just so weird to have that dawning thought happen to me multiple times, because it's like, there are like, we all learn at different points, but there's a lot of ego that pops around within that spiritual community, dude. You gotta be careful. Like modern day spiritualists, it's like they're, dude, I don't know. It's not a divide and conquer, but it's definitely a lot to do with like an agenda. Whether that agenda is on the physical or spiritual, not for me to debate upon. It just seems like there's something, some force trying to prove its way through something. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've been getting weird stuff about this stuff recently. Oh, I've made a lot of them mad. A lot of them don't even talk to me, dude. Like, I never really talk to the ones in the community anyway. I didn't really get sucked in that deep, but it was just like the ones that did talk to me completely ghosted me or turned on me, and it was just so bizarre. Like, dude, people don't like it when you figure out truth. They want you to play their fucking game, dude. It's so weird. It's so bizarre. It's so weird. But I'm being led down a better path, so I'm happy. That's all that matters. Oh yeah, never put welcome mats in front of your house ever. That's a hoodoo thing. You say welcome in, that you're allowing anything to come in. You're saying welcome in, there could be a demon that pops up, you know, one that you don't want. Like, oh shit, welcome in, don't mind if I do. And they plop the ass in there and they say, well, because you had a welcome in sign, so I'm allowed in. There was no rules, no restrictions that I was aware of other than welcome in. And me casa you and su casa, and they heard those two words, they hopped in there, didn't want to leave. That's what they'll do. You know? Put you a good vibes only mat outside your door before you do anything, man. Let me tell you. Rub some salt and pee underneath your floor mat before you do anything. Alright? I'm serious. You want to protect your area, pee around your perimeter of your house. Dude, you'd be sleeping on what the ancestors did for protection against spirits. I'll give you that much. I'm not giving you the whole shebang because there's a lot more to do than that. If you get the gist, you get the gist. If you don't worry about it. I don't know. It's a respect system. Don't pee around your house if you're uncomfortable doing that, though. Like that, it comes with doing this stuff. It comes to a comfortability. If you're uncomfortable about doing something, it's not gonna have that much power. So make sure you're comfortable doing something before you do it, please. But if you can put two and two together about pee and territorialism, you'll figure it out pretty well about why that works and the science behind that. But you know, not to speak too much about that because it's a closed practice, and I don't want to, you know, be hopping around too much and giving too much out. But I'll drip what I can. I respect that it's a closed practice, but there are certain things that you should be aware of for your protection's sake, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to be giving out a bunch of shit. I can't be doing that. That's just out of respect, you know. Because I know some hoodooists and who are very tapped into the practice, and they would beat me over the head for even mentioning that, dude. You'd be like, what the hell you think you're doing? Telling a bunch of random people what the hell to do. No. Take it serious though, it's the thing. For real. If you can watch a nature documentary, you can figure out a lot about things that you can do. I'm telling you. Yeah, the spray bottle one's always a good idea. Yeah, see, that's another thing with subliminals, dude. Man. You gotta trust the person. See, that's like, subliminals can be very helpful, but do you know? I'm just gonna. It's obviously MK Ultra tactics that allow that to be a thing, right? So we got to be careful because you don't know if these people got a little spirit on them or if they're part of an operation. Because listen, you can't hear it unless it's what they call a rampage, which is where the audio is audible. At least the audible parts are, right? And the whole point of a subliminal is keeping it below the hearing range of a human, so the vibrations seek into the brain rather than the words. No, I don't put anything subliminal in my meditations. I do deep meditations to figure out the frequency work and the effects that I need to use on the sounds, but I don't put any subliminals in my thing. The only thing that would be a what would count as that would be the sigils with the languages that can't be decoded by people without knowing what the language is. If need be, I can just post what the stuff says in like either the description or in the pinned comment somewhere. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say that my meditations have subs in them in that sense. They definitely have something in them. I don't know what the fuck. They got the pyre in it or something. Because I was even thinking about that at some point. Whenever everything gets settled out, I was gonna do like live streams of making this stuff. Because I've had a few people message me about how I make the things. It's a pretty fun and interesting process. Yeah, there's like you got to be careful. It's another thing that's kind of because I'm gonna talk about it because it needs to be talked about. Like something that really does upset me with the meditation music community is like it's all the same shit basically. Like they have this site that they go to that they rip the audio and stuff from. Nothing's made organically, and it's like with what you're doing with this type of work is witchcraft or controlling the feminine, which is the witch element inside of you, right? Using your feelings to then create things on the external witchcraft manifestation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? Their effort, their energy going into it is I'm going to put this together for my benefit. So even though that subliminal is like helping other people, it's doing it to help them out. It's a whole thing where you really got to look down deep into it. And it's just like a lot of it's the same shit. And I mean, it's not like bad, but it's overinflated because it's like you have people who are crafting and spending days trying to figure out frequency work and learning the craft of music to actually heal and the frequencies to heal that stuff. You know what I mean? And then you have someone just like literally rip the audio from one video, put a different background on it, and then apparently it's more powerful. It's not. You didn't do a damn thing to it. Like you didn't spend but like 5 minutes on that shit. I have project files that I've spent days on shit trying to perfect stuff, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do, yeah, like exactly. I was just about to say that, Toasty. If you're gonna do subliminals, do them yourself. Do them for you. Seriously, you can speak out meditations for yourself. Like read them off a paper or something, or watch a video and repeat it to yourself. You know what I mean? You can do that stuff for yourself. That's the best way to go about it, because then it's really just literally you hearing you again in that sense. Um, but yeah, let me see, because someone asked for a reading. Okay, dude. How not necessarily with that question that you asked, Kay, because you can't really future project with tarot cards. But we can like get a reading on how to smoothen that aspect out in the sense. Because most people who go to get tarot readings, I would take a little aside note on this because it just got kind of brought up. But a lot of people that ask for tarot readings aren't really asking like what they're desiring from a reading for tarot. It's more of like egoic state being in that sense. With other things, bone divination, it's obviously immensely is bone divination. What I'm talking about. So like, I guess charm casting. That's like a appellation, like granny witch thing. I guess like charm casting. I haven't looked too much into it honestly, but like bone reading, Ouija boards, pendulums. Fuck, what are they called? Those water rods, dude. Do those for yes or no's. Seriously, coin flips. I don't have my coin anywhere near me. I would use coin flips for yes or no's and things of that nature, right? Dice. Well, dice is different because that goes into different forms of numerology, divination, and geomancy, and that's its own field, and that ties in heavily with like Aoife divinations and stuff, with shell casting and coin tossing in that sense. But tarot is not a tool really for external divining. Divination is connecting with the divine, and tarot cards are using the art of tarot, which is astronomy, astrology, numerology, uh, physics, hand signs, masonry, shrinery. If you know anything about the shrines or the killer clowns and things of that nature, it's hiding those secrets of life within it. And not how these people came to power type secrets, but how to obtain that power yourself, as we all once did. And that's what tarot is used for. Yeah, no, a lot of people think that like if you use bone stuff for divination, that's something bad or evil. It's not. It's connecting to spirit more by using bones of an animal that lived its life. You know what I mean? So in that sense, you're connecting to a way more true source of spirit than these cards. These cards are ink and heavily processed paper. So what spirit are you getting from this? You know what I mean? Like you see where I'm laying down a little bit and why you got to be careful. And then you have all these other people making cards, and it's like, what are you putting on that card other than your interpretations? You're also putting all of your feelings towards that card in that card, which is now giving it a new foundation based off of its one premises, and it adds a whole other energy to it, and things get convoluted and thrown left and right. And we're allowed to have our own experiences, of course, but if we don't know the root, we'll have an experience that isn't fundamentally correct for us, but process oriented would be correct because it would teach you the lessons that you needed to learn moving through that process. I hope that made sense. Yeah, you can use pendulums to create portals and stuff too. Um, I've definitely I've met someone that used to use pendulums for portal opens. 2 card energy? Yeah, I got you. I got you with the energy pool. I can see like where you're at. Because energy pool is just kind of asking like, where are you right now? Like, what's the thing kind of like around you at that time? We could figure that out. But I mean, again, like I talk about it a lot because hopefully, um, oh my goodness, Anna, I hope you have been okay. Uh, you can't request readings about anyone externally. That's not how tarot works. Tarot doesn't work in the operation. I just got finished explaining that. Um, fuck, I was gonna say something else about tarot too. I guess it's not important because it flew out of my mouth. Well, it was important for that time being. No, you're fine. It's all good. But yeah, I hope you've been doing alright, Anna. Stomach issues, liquid doubt? Yeah. I don't know. There's something going around. Because people have been acting weird lately. Like, there's something actually in the air. I'm just gonna say it like that. Because people have been acting weird. Because I had to take those days off. I was gonna stream those other days, I just could not. Um, I've been going through massive fucking upgrades. Turns out my third chakra was pulsating. It still kind of is to this day because I was getting called, and it took me like 2 days to realize I was being called. 2 days after I mentioned it the first time, and then I started meditating more intently on it, and I figured out what's going on. So that was fun. But yeah, let me get Mark's reading real quick. I keep jumping off course. So first we have the Hierophant reversed. So Mark, right now the energy, there might be a bit of confusion, a path not known, almost like a blockage or a locked door. And that's because you're not following the rule of two, the rule of you and yourself. I was gonna say the rule of me and you, but that really wouldn't work in that sense. But the rule of keeping yourself, there's a key that you're missing. There's a key component of working with yourself that you might have a grasp on, but you're not seeing fully. It could involve a jumping too tightly onto certain points, or a trouble letting go of certain things. But in that sense, it has a lot to do with the ruling power. There's like a disconnection between a relationship between you and yourself, and it doesn't have to necessarily be between you and the divine. It could be a relationship of trying to come to a conclusion of something, right? Whatever this is, we have the Hangman reverse, which is showing that you can, there's, the situation isn't as clear as you think. It's not something you can remove yourself from so easily. It's something that needs to be thought about and really worked through. You did mention a while ago that you were going through some shadow work. And if you've been having issues moving forward, or having a bit of stagnancy, or like, I guess, a short circuit, not saying that you've been getting mad, but just not enough energy coming to you, or not receiving what you know that you should be receiving, it's because there's a bit of this shadow work that needs to be thought out a little bit more. Part of it might have been rushed through because you said that you couldn't deal with it at the moment, or however, but that's kind of what's going on in the energy. Yeah, I can get one about your finances for sure. And welcome in, everyone. All right, we'll sleep well on it. Hopefully you start feeling a lot better here soon. Don't forget to get your, like, teas and honey in you as well, you know. Yeah, I was gonna say, you might want to be careful of the whole Knights Templar, because the Knights Templar ties in heavily. I'm not gonna say that. Just look at the Knights Templar symbol, and then also look at the clan symbol, is what I'm gonna say, and then you can figure out what they're doing. Same thing with the Shriners, but the Shriners are wearing, what the fuck is that hat called? It's not called a turnip, a turban. I always think of turnip, and then goes to turban, and I need to figure that out anyway. And they wear the turban for reasons. But that's a little fun fact about the Knights Templar. Yeah, turnip's a veggie. I don't know why that gets stuck in my head. Huh? But I'm not playing that game. Do not ask me to play that game. Sorry, I got a message from my friend. I'm not about to do that. I'm supposed to be doing a reading. I completely forgot. Shit. I got sucked down rabbit holes. I was thinking. I mean, I can go out and say it. Like the Knights Templar evolved into modern day Ku Klux Klan. Like they have the same symbols. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. Um, the Shriners are really just oh my god. Hold on. I want to make sure I say it right before I go out and say this, because if not, I'm not going to mention it at all. And then someone else can fill in the information, because I don't want to be wrong about it. That's not it. Dude, what the hell? Man, I gotta go look for this stuff all over again, because it ain't gonna pop up as easy as it did when I was looking it up. It's not showing, okay. Apparently I'm not allowed to talk about it. Apparently I'm not allowed to talk about it. But yeah. Regardless. The killer clowns from outer space, the Shriners, the Knights Templar. Every one of their invasions was in the Bible, basically. The Knights Templar was in there when the Ark of the Covenant was being stolen. And then they ended up stealing it off the island that they carried it to when they parted the seas. No, that's literally how it works. When you're studying it and it's there in front of you, it's told to you in such like blatancy. It's like, oh wow, and then you go look for it again, and it's just not there. I would look through my notes. I don't have time to do that. I don't want to spend my time looking through my notes right now. I have too many tabs up because I'm writing them all on my computer. So I have not seen that document yet, but I'm probably going to need to. Now that you mentioned that, but let me get the reading for K. Sorry it took so long. Today's not a busy day, so it's fine, you know. You get energy flow around your finances, yeah. But the first one is Knight of Wands. So right now, with your finances, there's an idea that needs to be pushed forward. There's an idea that you've been having of taking some form of forward action, or you've been faced with an idea that's fueling you with this feeling of moving forward at this time. You're kind of moving out of that planning phase and into the first action phase, right, of this plan. So right now you're being asked to kind of see what values have been shown, what things of value have been shown to you, and move forward in that sense. Yeah, and the Nine of Pentacles, slow down and see the beauty around you. There's this rushing energy of things need to be going fast, when in actuality things need to be moving a bit slower at this time. You're about to enter the feeling stage, which you need to be calm in the water and not fight against the current when those feelings start coming through, right? So really at this time, when it comes down to your finances, they're coming in, but they're going to be coming in over a period of time. It's not going to be instantly. It's not going to be like one idea is going to instantly gratify you, but it is going to be something that's going to be coming in, not like drip feeding, but it's going to be coming in a sense to keep you in a balanced state, to keep you in a slowed down energy. So really focus on how you're going to move forward in a comfortable area. Like think about and really when I say think in this notion, what I'm really trying to say is allow yourself to just feel your way through the situation. There's not really a solid thought form to follow. There's not really a solid plan. You're just kind of needing to wade in the water a little bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I forgot where it's at, but there's like a bottle of what they presumed, like a vial that they assume and say is Jesus's blood. But at the end of the day, I think that that's Paul's blood because Paul basically changed his name to Jesus in the Bible. If you really, because I was looking at it, and he was just like, I don't like Jesus. I could be a better Jesus than Jesus could, and slandered the fuck out of him, and then made a bunch of aliases in the Bible. I don't know. I think it's Paul. It's something to do with the Antichrist. Dude, that's all Paul wants, dude. Paul wants to be. Look at me. Who gives a shit? If you were worthy, you would have wrote a better book, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. You had at least 5 chances, 6 chances to write a book, and neither one of them are. They all suck ass, dude. Like really? Like bro, the first book you wrote was like, oh, I was around Jesus, and you actually wasn't that good. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Damn. Like you were the one person that probably got declined to go to his birthday party, and you fucking held on to that for the rest of your life. Like child, archetypes are out here. I think Pope's dead. I think the Pope is dead. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a bug. Man, he didn't outright say he could be a better Jesus, but I swear that's what he was going for. Ain't no reason you gotta throw so much dirt on someone if you're not trying to like be them in some regard. Well, they were held in high favor, so I'm gonna be held in high favor too. And then apparently he is because a bunch of people be praising him. So he got what he wanted. That's for sure. Yeah. Like, if it's such a conflicting thing, then why are people, you know what I mean? Like, work on it a little bit. Don't just let it sit there. What is the main root cause that has you going in this cycle? I can attempt. I need to do that with the shadow. So your first card is Saint. It is Sorcerer's Protection, which is heightened intelligence, inquisitive mind, knowledge, and experience. Insurance protects of intellectual property. So it's something about. This has a lot to do with the rituals, and it's so interesting. Just the way it's coming to me with this is it's a lot to do with this mindset. It has a lot to do with how you are internalizing the process of things around you. For some things, it might not even be that you haven't learned the lesson, you just haven't actualized it yet. You haven't took steps in that sort of direction to prove that you've learned the lesson. That's what you're needing to see. And then we have Abracadabra that wants to come out. Let me get it real quick. Which is physical and mental healing, health, a specialist, knowledge and skill, learning, and confusion. So yeah, it has a lot to do with something that you're learning. Learning a new way to use the mind, learning a new way of thinking of things. Definitely check your sun sign. Look at the struggles that your sun sign might have, is what I'm really getting, especially with the skull being there. But regardless, this has a lot to change. It's about the way that you're thinking about the situation at hand. Some things might be the way you're thinking about them could be keeping you within this cycle, and another thing that could be keeping you in this cycle is the way that you're thinking in general, thinking that you're not escaping something. You know what I mean? You might have this ideology that everything's going to get better instantly once once you're out of the shadow phase, which isn't necessarily true. So really, just keep an eye on how you're thinking about the end of this work. It has a lot to do with like internalizing the lessons, internalizing the things that are going on right now. But yeah, I can get one for you, Toasty. And sleep well, Mark. Why did my mouse just do that? Anyway, sleep well, Mark. Thank you for stopping by. Truly. I do my best to keep it that way. I do my best. So your first card, Toasty, is Parsley, Basil, and Fern, which is security, good physical and mental health, happiness, prosperity, the power of love, richness, fertility, the well-being of the family, exposing malicious actions, delimiting our boundaries, and nature's protection. All in all, you are being protected. There's a few boundaries being removed from you. These new ideas that you're facing about, let me go do this, let me go do that, may be having a bit of a struggle right now, but it's exposing parts of you that were succumbing or even subscribing to the ideals of other people in that sort of sense. We have reflected light, which is Pisces energy. And reflected light talks about I want to make sure that's right. It is. All right. Talks about wrangling, breakup, prejudice efforts, false efforts, ineffectiveness, inflexibility, failure due to fear of change, misconceptions, soul searching, introspection, phobias, susceptibility to false fears, imagination, and illusion. So be very aware of the sort of new version that you're becoming. Be aware of the thoughts that you're having, the way that you're feeling. There's something that might not be shining the right way out. It's coming back to you as a reflection of your old self to show you what you're leaving behind. A lot of times when we're changing forms of ourselves, not really changing forms of ourselves, but becoming more of who we truly are, we get scared of the new. We presume the new to be scary or bad, or we end up seeing a past cycle that we're leaving come back, not to come back into our lives, but to show us what we're leaving in that sense, so that we know that we're moving on from it. Being aware of those at this time, knowing that you are protected from the things that are coming towards you, regardless of like past people, situations, or however, you are safe and protected in that. But there is a part of you that needs to almost see it as a part of who you used to be, so that you can move forward past situation that you're in. What do you want the reading on? I can attempt, for sure. Exactly. And it's not as a reflection to send anything anywhere. It's a reflection to look at it, to see it as how it truly is related to you, um, without having any sort of like fog in your vision. A lot of times when you leave situations or you leave people with that nasty taste in your mouth, or I didn't really enjoy having that person around me anyway, it's because you never really enjoyed them in the first place. And your ego latched onto parts of them that were agreeable to you to give a reason for you to stick with them, right? That's why whenever you leave certain people, it's super easy to, because you're not attached to them. You, in fact, have no attachments to them. You detached fully. You know, some people are harder to leave than others because some people get deeper attachments than others, and can give and receive in different ways in a sense, right? So it's being aware of that. Always at the end phase of these things, though, especially at the end phase, not so much at the beginning phase, but a lot at the end. Don't hold any form of intense grudge, because that puts you right back into this cycle. A lot of it has to do with the zodiac, the zodiacal transits that we're going through, with like the sun being in, it was in Libra, then Venus is, I think, in Pisces or something. I'm pretty sure Venus is in Pisces. I'm gonna go back to that site and check. Um, but even looking at the zodiac in that sense is really gonna help you. What is it called? There it is. I know that you're Arabic. How do you know I'm Arabic? What if I told you that I'm not Arabic and you're wrong? Now what? Because I'm not. You just came in here and assumed. Are they all three squished up like that? There ain't no way in hell. They are all mashed up there. Neptune, Mercury, Saturn, and Venus. Damn, they all in Pisces. That's wild. That's hilarious. So yeah, it is in Pisces. That's good to know. But yeah, watch out for that. Always watch out for the astrological events, because they'll tell you a lot about it too. And not in the sense of what's happening in the future, but what's happening internally inside of you in that sense. We got nothing in Capricorn, we got nothing in Sag, we got nothing in Virgo, nothing in Leo. Nothing in Libra. Ah, lied. Yeah, something in Libra. Damn. We got Pluto in Aquarius, which is hilarious. No, the moon's in Leo. What the hell? Moon is in Leo. Never mind, we got stuff in Leo. We got the moon in Leo. That explains a lot too. Look a lot what's going on. Just the subconscious parts, the unrevealed, the parts that are under consciousness, and being more in a flared up position. So like underlying fears, underlying passions, things of that nature coming up to the surface. More of the feminine elements to nurturing, being in control. Not necessarily saying that you need to relax, but just saying that doing things that are nurturing to you and actually giving back to you are more important at this time. There's some replies, too much cinnamon. Too much of anything is bad. Don't be putting too much. No, be careful about putting too much. You know what they say about that. Too much anything is bad. Don't poison yourself by having too much. A little dab will do you. And that's really how it is with anything. Just the tiniest bit will take you the furthest way. And it's the same thing as a mustard, faith the size of a mustard seed, whatever you want to call it. Don't take much. It just takes a little bit. Of course, no worries. It's what I'm here to do. Helping people on their journey. That's all that matters. I don't know when, but I might have changes to the tarot classes here soon. They might be ending up being completely different. Depending on, I guess, how things are talked about within future events, because I don't really have a date for it. But my tarot classes are probably going to end up changing, like how they're done and stuff. Well, don't waste it. You already got it. You know, you use what you got. Just don't use all of it for one specific thing. You know, you can take little parts of that simmer cup. You can use some of that for a spiritual bath if you want. You can set some of it out to invite luck in. You know what I mean? You already got the pot. You just don't need so much of the. And what is up with that light? Because I see you, I just don't know where you at. I mean, I really wish I could explain. That's so weird. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know what the hell going on. I'll let it. You know what? No, that's crazy. That's I don't know. I do not know. I don't know how to explain it. We're gonna move on. But yeah, I can get you your card. A class plan. I already have the tarot classes up. If you're wanting tarot classes, you can either go to my website or email me. And I'll send you the info there. I'll post that in the chat. But I don't know if those things are going to change up anymore in the future or not. Because I may be taking on a different route of doing so, and if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. But it just hit me a few seconds ago that I'm probably going to be doing tarot classes differently because of what's going on. Not to talk about it too much, not to say anything too much about it, but I may be getting a position in a tarot-esque school to fully teach tarot, and that in like an actual building facility type area like that, or not even just that, but have like a more organized way of getting in contact in that sense, a more like grounded support, I guess. Because I don't know how to describe it without talking about it too much, honestly, but things are moving in the background, and I got a position somewhere. But yeah, let me get to your reading. My brain shut off. You witnessed it happen just then. I was looking for the reading and I just couldn't find it. It's for Steven. I got you. I was shuffling this whole time, like, who are I doing the reading for again? I got it. But yeah, if I had access to government research, I was experimented on as a child, but I wasn't given any information as to what they were doing, unfortunately. But let's see, what's the energy for your news? The news, the energy for your news. The news of your energy is the sun. Wonder, vitality, a new outlook, new beginnings, a new dawn, a new day. However you wanting to see it, a new light, a new aura coming upon. Definitely moving forward with more of an inner child or more of a less serious mentality or actuality is needed at this time. And I feel like you've been kind of doing that, releasing stress, not really worrying about things, releasing the grip, the need of control at this time. But with doing that, don't forget to follow your higher self. There could be certain things that you're not so worried about or stressed out about, though you're getting told to do so by your higher guides. Though it's not like a, oh, you're in trouble type thing. Just be aware of handling things in still of like a serious manner, but not one that causes a lot of panic. This could also just mean as well that you're not listening to your higher self, or not hearing your higher self, because you are in this childlike state where you're not, ignoring it on purpose, but you're kind of like, oh, I know I should do this, but I'll do it later type energy. You know what I mean? It's like procrastination, but it hasn't hit like the full stage of it yet. So be aware of that. And if it's neither of those, it's definitely to keep an eye out for listening to your higher self whenever things need to have like a lighter mood towards it. So regardless, other than that, things are getting lighter. There just needs to be a better focus on your higher self, on the divine, on your guides when they're guiding you forward. Well, my question would be, why do you need to move your sexual energy through your 33 vertebrae and not your life source energy? You know what I mean? Because your sexual energy and your life force energy are two different energies. If you were to transport your sexual energy all the way up through your spinal cord into your crown and have it around you, you'd be surrounding yourself in an energy of sexuality, which is not really what you're looking for if you're trying to be in the sense of a spiritual energy. Even then, a lot of practices that involve Kundalini energy is talking about the serpent Apophis overtaking the mind rather than you actually having an awakening of that sense. So being aware of that. For me personally, I didn't mess with Kundalini at all. I never really wanted to. It never dawned upon me to mess with it. I've always been kind of told to stay away from it by my guides. So I never really had a Kundalini experience. I've never really been interested in it. It's never been like something that's like, it's come to me, but I've always rejected it whenever it comes to me because I don't need a Kundalini experience in that sense. Because all you're really trying to get, at least for my understanding, and I'm going to say it as understanding as well, of Kundalini, is just to one yourself with your energy, to be more in tune with your energy, which wouldn't really be a sexual thing. It'd be a life source thing. So, why not pull from your your solar plexus, or even your heart chakra? Really, if you want it to be really pure, pull from your heart chakra. and have it radiate out and around, rather than pulling something from your from your sacral up. You know what I mean? I feel like that practice hasn't been looked at. A lot of the issues was like, again, like a lot of people don't look into this stuff because they think it's too sacred to like look in that sense, but it's not. It's like, what are we doing? What's the end goal? What's the energy that you're moving up your 33 vertebrae? And going off of Gnostics and Westernized system that's relating to Jesus Christ and the 33 years of age that he had to get to Christ consciousness before dying and rebirthing and awakening and all that stuff, right? That's the level of of understanding it. It gets to a point where you start looking at it and seeing it for more than of what it is. 33 breaks down to 6, and 6 goes into 6 ether, since we're dealing with life and death. 33 being the age of death that brings life and death into the equation, making it 6 ether in that sense. 6 ether, they come from your noble gases. I don't remember all the noble gases off the top of my mind, unfortunately, but they come from your noble gases. And those are the gases that help create, I believe, help create life. But it goes into 6 ether. And then why would you pull, again, like from your sexual energy, which would be, God, what archetype would that be? Because I can't use one. I was gonna say Lilith, but I can't properly use Lilith in that sense. I mean, definitely could for the second half of her existence for sure. So I guess we'll just stick with Lilith, just for simplicity's sake, not to call anything good or bad, but you'd be drawing up more of that energy, you know what I mean? And you really want to draw it from your root chakra either. You don't want things that are keeping you grounded and stable moving up to the top of you. It's going to make you top heavy, and you're going to fall on your face easier, you know what I mean? It's about keeping yourself balanced, so why aren't you pulling from that heart space, that green light, surrounding yourself in that to keep you stable, you know? It's a lot of things that people just don't like question as well, like even the colors of those chakras, right? The fact that they're warmer, they're easier to make you like feel nurturable. They're about the things that nurture you. They're not necessarily feminine in nature, but they handle a lot more of the force that's able to move up through the rest of the chakras, through the vertebrae, or however you're doing it. So you can't really experience what people say is a Kundalini experience unless your other chakras are also aligned and able to take in the energy. You'd just be having a fake awakening. Well, see, that's another thing. If sexual energy and life force were the same, there wouldn't be two words for it, right? You'll hear people say, "Yeah, sex energy is like life force because you have to do this to create that." Yeah, but they're two separate entities, because why would you need to create something from something if it didn't, if it didn't have its own origins in the first place? You know what I mean? So that's what kind of what you're looking for in that sense. It's like sexual energy and life force energy are different things. The sexual energy relates to more of a physical aspect in that sense. And with life force, that's more of the internal. That's the pyre. That is the great beyond, things that are not from this world. You know what I mean? Nut. How about that? I'll speak in my mother language for you. Nut. Okay. I am 100% from Egypt from your point of view. Sure. I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to debate it. You can have it. Why is it a big deal and a concern? Why are you so bothered about it? Do you want to be from Egypt? Do you want to learn Egyptian? Like, I just don't get it. And again, you know, people have problems with a bunch of stuff for no reason. People got a lot of shit going on in their lives. Stuff that they don't even know about either. Oh, that's what that's about. Yeah, that is a fun song. I'm gonna save you the searching, Ibrahim. You're gonna see every race in me. Okay? That's just how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? I am birthed from the original people who are here, so I'm gonna look like a bit of everyone because it's not the fact that I look like everyone else. Everyone else just looks like me. I got the inherited born here first genes or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't know who you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about now, Ibrahim. I don't know what you got from what I just said, but I can tell you it's not at all what was being said. Or at least what was trying to be translated into your tongue, whichever that may be. Because I don't know what you're talking about when it comes down to that. There's not one guy, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's the language blockage right there. Got it. Intoxication. It keeps you capped at some degree. Welcome in, welcome in. What is that about? That's the great battle of spirits. It's both sides of you, the agreeable and disagreeable at war. One side trying to fight the other, one side just wanting peace and to walk the path of righteousness, and the other part wanting to walk the path of deceit. I would say evil, but such an overused word at this point. But think back to when Apophis and Horus were at their quarrels. Look at when Apophis and Atun were at their cosmic fight, when the cosmic egg was created and everything. Yeah, the flesh doesn't give a fuck about heaven at all. It is simply the soul, and you can tell it's through certain levels, of course, but it's very easy to tell the ones that don't really have like a soul, that are unaware of, of what a soul is. You know what I mean? How can you describe a soul from a spirit? Not everyone has a soul, but everyone has a spirit. Your soul is higher. It does not come from this world. Your spirit are parts and entities, or particles, entities, I should say, that can come into this realm to control different things. Our soul doesn't invade a vessel. A soul was breathed into man. We're living souls, right? We have a spirit inside of us. What spirit do we have? That determines on how we move in life. And that has to do with your moral compass. And whichever way your moral compass is, it's less of a compass and more of a scale. It was turned into a compass by the Masons because they did their shit. It's really a scale, Maat scale, right? That you're messing with. But that's what you're worried about when it comes down to the difference in a soul and a spirit. Your ghosts are spirits, right? Your demons are spirits. Your angels are spirits. Your soul is something that can only be inhabited in with the physical body to keep it alive for that duration. That soul part of you is what gets to experience the wisdom, the nourishing, that then matures in other lifetimes. Do I believe in God? I don't believe in anything. I don't have belief systems. I don't have time for that. There are things that I know and there's things that I don't know. I've had encounters with beings that I've claimed to be God, but did I claim them to be God because they told me them or because they were a higher being than me? And if that's the case, what is God? If we have to define it that way. I already know the answer to it, which is a lot simpler than you would think. But a lot of people, and this is going to sound weird, a lot of people think they see God, but they don't actually see God. They see what God is to them in that point in time, which could be just an entity that just has a bit more power than them, or a bit more knowledge, or a bit more understanding of who they are, which is why it's so easy to herd sheep and not to herd lambs, which is why the shepherd did not have sheep. The shepherd had lambs that they were moving around. You know what I mean? Sheep are dumb animals, bro. It's the lamb that you're wanting. It's the sheep that believe that the goat is strong without seeing the lamb in its entirety. You know what I mean? It's not that they did. It's not that they want a soul. They want flesh. Because you can have soulless bodies. There are people who were born out of Cabbage Patches in Children of the Corn, that movie, Children of the Corn, those fucking dolls, the Cabbage Patch Kids. Those weren't just around for like cute things. That was an actual like, hey, we're doing this, by the way. And we just need you all to agree on it. So what do? We turn it into entertainment. Y'all love to be entertained by shit. Look at these cool colors. Look at these objects you can play with. We'll show you the truth within them. But if you don't realize what's going on around you, then that's on you, right? That's what they're trying to do with this stuff. The shows that you see, from like Supernatural to cartoons and shit, they all have a relevance with this real life world that we're in. And a lot of people are just soulless people walking around with spirits in their vessels, you know. At the end of the day, your spirit is that I guess it could be called an electromagnetical uh, pulse, because it is we do have a magnetic pull in that sense. Regardless, the electronic pulse that we have in us is our soul. It's what keeps us alive, you know. So I mean, there's spirit. Excuse me, the soul is spirit. I'm getting tongue twisted, like bad. But it's the spirit that keeps that. How does one have contact with these beings? Ask and you shall receive. Simplest way, ask and you shall receive. Don't That doesn't mean to go out and do dumb shit. You know, there are rules and regulations to it, but the only way you can really get the rules is if you're brave enough to do it. You know, but that path life, that way of life, has been so hidden and passed down through like generations, and put into like little clubs and shit that you have to join, that it makes it harder for you to actually figure this stuff out without seemingly selling yourself to an entity that you could just revoke back later. You know what I mean? But really, all you have to do is ask. What's my IQ? Irrelevant, because I'm not gonna let the government test me how smart I am just to do more experiments on me, so I'm good. What do you mean, not Illuminati? Of course. Am I still pulling cards? Of course. I'm Illuminati to a degree. I'm illuminated in what I know. All the Illuminati means is the illuminated ones. And what does it mean to be illuminated? To be bright. To be bright is to smart, to shine. When what are they called? When an Eastern star sees a Mason, or a Mason sees another Mason, you'll probably hear the code is getting bright in here, and that just means that you are illuminated. They can see your shine. That shine is that knowledge. The original Illuminati, per se, were just the people that were keeping this realm intact. And then came along the 13 bloodlines, the reptilian space fucking clown, draconian bloodline that came down. Did they shit? Uh, Fuck. They did it with. Dude, I'm not gonna say who, because I'm gonna get their names mixed up and I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, the Illuminati is not like a bunch of evil people. People like to think that the Illuminati has nothing to do with that. That's like a modernized, oh, look at this, pick a side type of viewpoint, instead of actually understanding what we're here to do, which is to build and evolve. You can't build if we're divided. All the Masons and Eastern stars tell you is the Egyptian secrets. All the Shriners do is make you forget about the Christian God and tell you all about the Egyptian, the Sumerian gods, because they know those are the ones that actually rule in this fucking galaxy that we're in right now. Especially with Orion's belt, you know what I mean? The Skull and Bones, they're more like economics than really anything. But yeah, you know. some of the beings on this planet are genuinely just here to make us slaves. And if they can keep us in an energy of like, oh, we have to work, 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 and not relax, that's what goes on. Yeah, they can't really do much else. They can really only get like the economics. Cause I was thinking back, like that's all they can do. Cause they're pirates. That's why they have the skull and the bones. That's where it came from. They're pirates. They steal shit. I'm not gonna speak too much about that, but you can go as far down with that rabbit hole as you want. I'll lead you to the door, but you gotta open it. Look at they flag, and then look at the pirate flag. Why the fuck they the same? What pirates do? What pirates do? I'll tell you what they do. But, you know, they know that this world is ran off of symbology. If you can read symbols, you'll be fine, dude. Like, actually, I'm not even joking. If you can just study symbols, you'd be so fine. Why do you think we started off with like hieroglyphic texts and shit, and then we moved on to the shit that we have now? Like, it was so much. We're not supposed to be using these tones, is all I'm gonna say. At least the English tones, because they're fucked up, bro. But yeah, let me do the shout. Let me do Kane's, and then I'll get yours, Julie. Where they're hidden. So your two cards are Abracadabra, and then Avgaster. So Abracadabra is physical, mental healing, health specialist, knowledge and skill, learning, confusion. A lot to do with the mental strength, a lot with doing, setting a boundary and staying by it. That may be something that you're struggling with when it comes down to lust, is setting that strong boundary. But we have a Gaster, which is paying for irony, careless talk, a wanderer, long journeys, walking in circles. Definitely see where you fall at. Is there a certain time of day where you end up falling in lust? Is there a certain topic that is keeping you in this lustful energy? Seeing it from that point of view, and then filling up that time with something else. Instead of sitting there trying to combat it by saying, oh, I don't need to do this, I don't need to do that. Get up and begin to do an activity. Whether that's exercising, walking, drawing, something, right? Do something rather than be in an idle state to help you with lust. Because all lust is a craving of something. And if you're going to be in the energy of like, oh, I want to feel this way, then begin to do things to make you feel that way in that sense. You know what I mean? Begin to find higher vibrational ways to bring in the energy that you're wanting in. Well, the Anunnaki are not from here, dude. The Anunnaki, that's like what happens when you're not compressed by Earth's atmosphere. We're compressed, dude. We're in a gigantic fucking can. Like, you know, we're constantly like the only reason why we're short is because of that. It's because of the gravity, the way the poles are, the tectonic plates and everything. And the way everything moves on this planet. It's just like it has us shorter than we are. Well, should be. For some of us, shorter than it should be. There are beings that are like our normal height on other planets, but that's because they have like similar like pools and stuff and vacuums. But a lot of it's like our bone density and stuff would not suffice depending on how it's all about the moon really. But that moon isn't even the actual moon that we have. That's like a draconian thing. But yeah, let me pull your two cards, Julie. I was like, who the hell? Because I knew someone else was wanting to read. I just could not remember the name to save my life. general direction of healing. I don't think bees came from the moon that we have now. God, no. Ain't no way. Well, I mean, shit. I think about that now. Now that I said that out loud, now my brain's gonna stop me. Hold on. But that's like, I guess that's the split, though. That'd just be the duality of coming down into Earth. But that's just the dictation if you're born from the Yaz bloodline or the Ways bloodline, and if you're agreeable or disagreeable. Damn. I'm not going to sit here and break that down. I would love to, I just can't. But yeah, here, let me get this. I'm thinking about so many things right now. I need to just be pulling cards. I can think after. Alright, but your first card hidden is envy, which is envy like confidence, difference, barriers to self-development. I don't know why, but developing a new skill came to mind heavily. This may be a form of like solar plexus and sacral chakra work that needs to be helped. Yeah, because even with sorcery tools coming up after that. Yeah, this has a lot to do with like efforts. I was doing numerology in my head. It's 6 and 1, which is 7, and then 3 and 1, which is 4, and that goes down to 11, which is 2. So it has a lot to do with, like, again, but sorcery's protection, heightened intelligence, inquisitive mind, knowledge, and experience, insurance, protection of intellectual property. It has a lot to do with trusting yourself more with what you're able to create. Whether what this be being artsy, whether this is more delving into like a practice or studying or, you know, getting a new job or however this is for you, there's a need for you to believe and to know that you're worthy of it. Envy is not always something that is external. Sometimes your envy comes from an internal when you're trying to move forward because you're still clinging on to past parts of you that are deeming you to be unworthy still, or desire to get one more out, or let me do this one last time, or you know what I mean? Like, let's just do this one last time before we, you know, call in quits or whatever. Is kind of how it's how that past version of yourself will be at times. So really just allow yourself to know that you're capable of doing whatever you're going through, whether this is healing, going through something, or applying or getting something new. You're able to do so. That's just kind of like this back and forth. Every day it happens. I just look back in chat. Yeah, just do it. Put more faith in yourself. Even so what I do, because I constantly am making music. That's something that I do like every day, and it's it doesn't always work out the way I want it to. But I'll get like an idea and I'll work on it. Even if the idea isn't a full song and it's just like 32 bars or 64 bars or something, I'll work on it until it's complete. and then I'll put it away until I stumble upon it later, and then usually that's how my songs come to be. Is I'll have like an idea from like a year or two ago, and then finally come back and work on it later. I've had to really learn how to do that over the past like 7 years. But it's just about trusting that initial hit of, oh, let me make something. Oh, this sounds like a good idea. Oh, let me do this forever. I've literally turned like four bar things into um whole songs. I'm a brain shock. I'm sorry. Do I see repeating numbers as angel numbers? Nah, no. I stick with the original numerology, the 9 numbers that exist, and the only 9 numbers that will exist, 1 through 9. Any number that's put together are compound numbers, and things that are compounded are added together. And so 11 would be 2, 22 would be 4, etc. Moving on, right? Because we live in a world where things are being mashed together. They're being put together. They're being compounded together. We're not being crossed together. We're not being forced to be, but we're meeting on either an agreeable or disagreeable state of self to exist, right? Whether that is adding a negative together or just adding 2 positive together, we're always adding something together to get the sum of it, right? So I don't really see repeating numbers like 555 or 999 as angel numbers. I add them up until their simplest form, and then use that operation of the 9 phases of life that we have and go through. But I can understand why angel numbers are a thing. It just, for me, because whenever I started getting into angel numbers, I would look at all of them and I would notice that every single number has a very specific message that it rings out every time. And it's just the combination of all of those numbers being added together. So what does this one number mean? Well, 0. Everyone like 0 is the infinity point. Well, that's the birthing start. That is the true start. That's the ovary. That's where things are created. You have 1, which is the mother. The one that comes after the invisible is mother. Second comes father. 1 and 2 is 3. Mommy and daddy made 3. Mommy and daddy made me. Excuse me. That took time and matter, time and effort, which was 4. When I was born, when I was put on this earth, when I was birthed, I had my 5 senses in flame. Right. That goes into my 6th sense, growing up, learning how to operate in this realm. The 6th sense, the spiritual senses. 7 is the Sabbath, which is the weight. 8 is the trial. 9 is the test, and 10 is either going to the highest form, to the next level, or starting back at 1. You can also go to 4. You can also go to 4 from 9. 4 is also square 4, or square 1, I should say. It's the first square that you meet. Square 2 would be 8. Or second base, or whatever you want to call it. But then I use that system instead. Because it's all very, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the angel numbers is definitely a westernized thing. What you know as angels are just balls of light or winged beings, I know as winged, not humans, but the closest thing that we can claim them to be are humans. I see them as winged otherworldly beings, not necessarily just saying that they're nothing but light, but saying that these are actual physical beings that we can't see yet. They come from this realm, and everything on this realm is visible. It just takes an additional thing to make it visible, right? That's all we're really working with, is trying to figure out those codes that match up to things. But yeah, what a lot of people know as like winged beings or winged balls of light, or like flying eyeballs, I see and recognize and commune to them as actual beings of not tangible flesh, but of a fleshly apparition. You know what I mean? because not all angels I work with are from the Kabbalah system. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It really is, because it's like I'll talk to people who have seen angels and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I just seen a really bright light and I couldn't see. It's like I've looked eye to eye with some of these beings before. I don't know what you aren't seeing, but I'm seeing all other things. Which I guess is kind of why I work so well with Anaki and magic at the end of the day. But it hits different. When the more that you see, the weirder it gets, you know. And it's not even to say that my version of angels is correct. It's just, if there are other people that also see angels and know of angels, it's the same way that I do, and they're able to see them that way, that means that we're all on one wavelength, and that there's the one that's above us just as there's one below us at all times. You know, basically the highest wavelength of being an angel would fully be one. That doesn't have anything to do with being an angel on earth, because you're too tangible. You're not in a gaseous state. You're too solid. Right? Excuse me. You're not in a liquid state. Not a solid state. I mean, not a gaseous state, but a liquid state. The gaseous state is God's state. That's your thoughts, your mind, your breath, etc. The sun's nice. Have you done any looking into the sun people before? You may need to. Damn. We're thinking in a simulation. We're in something. I mean, we are in our own, like, separate simulations for sure. But I don't know. Some people are in more of a simulation than others. You know what I mean? Regardless. There's, well, I don't know, because there's so many, because even to mention that takes you down a different rabbit hole. Well, not a different rabbit hole, but a different path to talk about. But we're in a simulation of sorts for sure. Because, you know, we all experience our own things differently. And then not only that, but you can't really escape the Matrix. You can escape phases and forms of it, because at the end of the day, the final Matrix is in your mind, and until you can overcome your mind, you're still gonna be mind under matter and not mind over matter. You know what I mean? Because you are a mind. You're an eye, you're a mind. You see, and you're able to digest. You're able to calculate. So we, as a mind who's being operated by the ego, we have to work in these like protocols where we calm the ego down, which is the rational self, this thing seeing only things in one way. And then you work on that, you break that down, you get it used to doing its thing to where it can run on its own. And then you start to work on, what do I do day by day that I know I don't want to do? What are the small things that I'm like, I really want to do this, but I just don't do it because XYZ. And then you start to form this mind over matter mentality. But it's a whole process. A lot of these gurus and teachers don't talk about it. And, well, I've met people with a bunch of different responses. Some people don't talk to people about stuff like this because it's like they'll say people are too stupid to grasp it, or they're not ready for it yet. But that's such a lie. It's that you're not ready to talk about it. and regardless, I've been there and how it is. But a lot of the like modern day teachers are like, no, be careful. Just be careful. Just be careful, please. Because some of your teachers are like ratty. They ain't good. They ain't good at all. Because, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I've had plenty of encounters with people to know how a lot of these people think. And it's just not okay. The fact that they want to even be called a leader is like, you know, that's a whole other thing. But that's just with me and having an issue with labels. I don't want no I don't need no labels. Tell me where you're from, not what area you're from. Oh, I'm from mother and father. Cool. Who's your mom and dad so I can respect you? Is it God and Mary? Is it Gabriel and Mary? Is it who gave birth to you? You know, that's what that's what I want to get to know about. I don't care about where you're from and that stuff. Like, let's talk about the deeper point. Like, we're here for a reason. I don't care if you're a child of Lucifer or not. We all have a brick in our hand. We're supposed to be placing it down somewhere. What are we supposed to be building here as a group? Instead of building it, we're being distracted by an agenda of other higher forces. You know what I mean? Definitely need to go research your sun, people. Look up Children of the Sun. Because I was about, see, instead of asking, because I was going to ask you, like, are you a child of the sun? You can't just do that. You have to, like, treat everyone as if they know nothing, just the same as you know nothing. And you have to ask them those types of questions. You know what I mean? But definitely look up the sun people. That they are a group of beings that came down. I think there was like 12,000 of them. I could be completely wrong. But there is a group that came down to Earth, and they are here to revitalize Earth, doing their own mission. Different planets have their different missions, of course. Different galaxies have their own missions for why people are here. It just depends on who you are and what you're bringing here. Whether you're aware of it or not, you brought it, you know. The fact that you're here means that you've already brought it. But yeah, I'll have something like that here soon. I want to have like a place with all sorts of resources so people can look up things. Yeah, the sun people exist. What you talk about? The sun people exist. The Atlanteans are still alive. Poseidon's still somewhere down in those waters, honey. He not dead. I don't know what the hell y'all think. We're at a war with Poseidon, by the way. I don't think y'all realize that yet either. Why do you think they've been spilling all the oil in the fucking gulfs and shit? That's a war going on between sea and land. Because we're smushed between two groups of beings that we are trading with. I'm not even, I can't even say two groups of beings. There's more than two. But we're spaced in between a rock and a hard place. Because we're trading with not only outer galactic, what would the word be? Submerged, I guess, because they're underwater. I don't know the exact term, so excuse me. But we're also trading with the ones under, right? And then we're also trading on the land. So it's like you really have to be aware of this. We have a space, we have a navy, we have a space fucking warfare agenda group. It's just so, it's awful. But we're in a war. We've been at a war with Poseidon for a minute. He's not been happy with us. Now, it's not the exact Poseidon that people think. Poseidon is the Greek name. I do not know the Aboriginal name, unfortunately. That's where I fall short of my info, and that's where I need to do more research, right? But regardless, we're at war with those out from this planet, and we're at war with those who are underneath and in our planet. Enlil, thank you. Yeah, so the space clowns were brought in by Enlil. Because they weren't just trying to get gold, they were trying to get slaves as well. Right? Do I break it down even? I'm not, I'm Or was it Enki? No. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm getting my brain jumbled up again. This always happens when I'm about to talk about Enki and Enlil or anything to do with Anu's family. It's like I'm told not to. Not necessarily told, but the information flies out my head. So there's something going on with that I have to look into. Cause I know enough about where I came from. But also not enough. No, you're fine, Steven. You're good. I just don't know. Every time, no, I've tried to talk about the fucking Anunnaki like 5 different fucking times. And every time I've tried to talk about anything to do with them, I'm like immediately get shut down. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like I literally spend all day like refreshing myself on this stuff. And I'm just not able to talk about it when time comes. Blame it on whatever you want at this point. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Cause yeah, that's what I know. Is like, and Lil came down here with to get gold. Cause wasn't that that was Lucifer, the one that break the circle. Sorry, dude. I'm jumping around like crazy, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'm sorry. But no, yeah, because that's the term Lucifer comes from, the one that broke the circle. And that's why we live in a squared, the 4 corners society rather than a rounded 720, because you wouldn't circle it once, you'd circle it twice. It'd be a 720 society. Any tips from repentance? Don't do it. Any advice for repentance? I don't know. Whoever you called upon to do that chaos magic, whoever told you to do that chaos magic, you maybe find a way to reverse it. That's all I can tell you, because that stuff's on you. So you gotta undo it. Find out what you. If you don't know what you did, then you need to go find out what you did. If you know what you did, I don't know. Depending on what you did, right? You can use the ingredients backwards. Or you could do a ceremony of like an unblocking ceremony or a removal ceremony on them to remove it. But if you did the chaos work, you gotta go fix that, because especially if it hasn't done anything to them, it's just around you. No, you will not find squares in nature. You'll fucking find them in masonry, though. Modernized masonry, because we used to live in fucking domes and huts for a reason. Now we live in boxes like we're fucking cats or something, dude. Wait a minute, you trying to use, you got a whole other issue. If you're using chaos magic with Allah's name, child, have fun. The fuck? It says directly in his book, do not cause any harm to your enemies. You come to me and I handle it for you. Doesn't say it in those exact words, but he says do not wish any harm upon your enemies, for that harm will be put directly onto you. You gotta be careful of that. Because if you're gonna talk to Allah about it, you're gonna be asking, what do I need to do to Allah? You know, because that's between you and him at this point. If that's who you called upon, like, you gotta be careful with these things. You gotta know what you're doing, because you could fuck up real quick, real bad with that. You were deceived. Got you. Make it clear. When you go into prayer, make it clear that you were deceived. If that is simply the truth, just make it clear that you were deceived and that you wish to take back all. You know, do what you can. It's your words, it's your power with your words. Be sure to use them swiftly and wisely. And if you can't think of the words to say or can't say them as loud as you can with your heart. You know what I mean? But definitely, like, ask, you know, I would definitely do like a reversal on that individual, not on yourself, but on the bully that you sent it to. So that whatever you sent to them isn't sticking with you or on them and going back, and being worked through. Yeah, make sure. Yeah, offer. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. Like, have an offering. Make a form of sacrifice if you need to with fasting. That's about it. Not meaning like execute, but just, you know, release something for a while and spend your time diligently in your prayer work. I get that. That happens to everyone. Don't let fear consume you. Allow yourself to be filled with your true emotion, whether that's remorse or however, and really, like, especially with Allah, pray it out. The only thing you can really do with Allah, because not my walk of life. I've studied it a bit to know you can't. The best you can really do about that is prayer. Um, because they're not heavy with witchcraft or really burning of any candles or anything of that nature. Um, to my knowledge, at least. I mean, that's depending on what you're messing with, because they have gins. I'd be careful. I'd be careful with the LBRP, because you should have definitely done that. Yeah, I get what you mean. I've met a few people that are interested in, like, just me being interested in language and stuff, so it's no worries. Um, but yeah, the LBRP is really good. Yeah, you should have done it. Yeah. If you don't have anything as a protection measure before doing any form of spell, you should do that. If you're working strictly with angels, don't do that one. There's a better one that you can do. And you can email me about that one and I'll send it to you. I actually even have a video up about it as well. But if you don't have any form of, like, um, you know, protection work before doing, it doesn't matter what it is. Even when you do a return to cinder, you're like praying in it, and you're putting salt around for, like, protective barriers. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't have any form of protection at all, and it depends what you're doing, depending on how much protection you need, at least do like an LRBP. At least do something, a lesser banishing, a greater banishing. Do some form of banishing before you do it, any ritual, so that whatever you send out doesn't stick with you, basically. Unless it's called upon as, like, not needed or disagreeable and sent back to you with the other forces involved or however, right? It happens to the best of us, man. It really does. It happens to the best of us. Um, just get up and move forward in a brighter way. You learn, you know, your lesson. You see the consequence of action. The only thing you can do now is truly stand up um, for what you have and move forward in a higher way. You know. Yeah, do that. Also, definitely ask Allah. I don't know if you read from the script or not, but if you do, ask him to send you to the direction of the scripts that you need. Uh, Whether that's for personal power or to show you what you need to do with example wise or however, right? Always make sure that you're talking to whatever God that you are worshiping, no matter whose name you call him under, that you're being full cooperative, especially if it is about repentance, because it's like, what do I need to do? I don't need you to forgive me in the full entire sense. I need to prove my forgiveness to you, depending on your relationship with it. I know a lot of people have that relationship where they're like, what do I need to do? And it's not in the sense of saying that it's like you carrying your own cross compared to Jesus, right? It's you carrying your own burdens. It's you carrying your responsibility by saying, where do I place this? This is mine. Where does this go? Right? And moving forward with it in that sense. But doing that helps a lot. Again, I'm not too familiar with um, Islam, unfortunately, yet. I want to like be fluent in the language before I touch the script, or at least have someone read it to me in English. Yeah, yeah. Don't think that we're judging you either, literally, because we've all done stuff. It doesn't matter if someone wants to look and say, "Oh, I've never done anything like that." No, you have with your mind. You might not have put any form of action into it, but you've given it a thought, or you've said, "Oh, I wish something would happen." So we've all done it on some degree. It's a learning journey. We all have to go on. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I know it's a lot more scientific because that's where Yakub comes from and that whole storyline. Well, I'm glad that you did, because listen, some people would be really judgmental and throw you down a pipe for saying that shit they chat, dude. You came to the right place. Oh, yeah, you can email me about it. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, and I don't stay on one side or other. I see it as it is. Listen, I I've done magic and shit my whole life. I have fucked up plenty of times. I've done things out of pettiness when in the past, right? Even without magic, just in general. I've been there. At the end of the day, it's no difference. The only difference that it implies is how someone else sees it. I'm indifferent. I'm just trying to stay neutral with things. So the Ethiopian Bible would be so fun to read through. Honestly, it's definitely something I've been looking into. I have like PDF files of a bunch of books that I have not read yet. One day I'm gonna go on like a month-long vacation and read all of them. One day, I don't know when. At some time in the future, though. That's gonna be fun. But no, I got studies. I got a lot of studying to do. I got a lot of life to study too. You can't really get a card pull for that, but if we talk about it, I can tell you about what chakra you need to work on. Dude, everyone's in that King James version, let me tell you. It's everyone's either in the King James or the new King James version. You know, they want to get updated, like the iPhones and shit. But Everyone's up in ants about this, and it's like it's good because if everyone's familiar with one state of the Bible, that's so much easier to relay messages instead of jumping around through all the other like translations, right? So we can actually break the curse pretty simply. It's just who knows the Bible enough to do that. You know what I mean? No, learning to do malware patches, seriously. And yeah, the Thunderbolt is on the on the tower card. I read the question. I was like flipping through. Does it have a frog? I'm pretty sure this deck has a frog. Well, let me think though, because frogs. I'm pretty sure they mean that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't say that. Yeah, but frogs are about like transformation and stuff. And purple has a lot to do with royalty, and if not just royalty, seeing things in a more divine light. Some people say the crown chakra, some people say the third eye. I personally say the third eye. But yeah, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Truly. What is tomorrow? Wednesday. Nice. Bruh. Why am I getting yelled at? Hold your horses. Not you yelling at me. Sorry. You know I'm live. What the hell? Oh my lord. So anyway, doing third eye blockages just help you. With third eye, do root chakra as well. And if you do those works, right? Here's the kicker. If you're working on your third eye and your root, right? If you're unable to receive anything on the physical, yet you've done that work on your heart chakra next. That would be the next one in line to work on, for me, from my observation of it, right? And if after the heart chakra, if it still doesn't work, then work with your sacral, and then your solar plexus, because it wouldn't really involve. It would involve your throat, but it's not like a major key point. So really, just work on your third eye, your root, and your heart. And the only reason why I'm saying it like that and not necessarily the crown chakra, is because the crown chakra is more with divine revelation, with more of not necessarily being able to decipher what the divine is saying, but to realize it as it being the divine. And you can get that same effect by working with your heart chakra. If you can strengthen up your heart chakra, that strengthens up your third eye, which then strengthens up your crown in that sense, right? I got you. No worries. The only reason why I speak about it in this way is the videos I have on this channel. About the one between the third eye and the crown. Oh, you're talking about... Wait, which one are you talking about? The one actually in between? Or the one, like... up here. Well, because your crown's back here. Well, that's where the Jews wear. I forgot what it's called. They wear that cap there for that reason. Your actual crown's like up here. It's the pineal and the pituitary, but the pituitary gland isn't known as that within the chakra system. I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to break it down. It's not it's the pituitary gland because it sets like further back, I think, from the third eye, from the pineal gland. It either sits in front of it or behind it, dude. I can't remember. Um, but it's something like that. I just don't forgot what it's called. No, your higher heart's above your heart. Your heart's here. Your higher heart is here, and then your throat chakra is like where the Adam's apple and stuff is in that area. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, Saint. It's that pituitary gland, whatever the fuck that's called in the chakra. And if you look it up, it's gonna say pineal gland. That's what I know for sure. But I know what you're talking about. Because there's the 7 basic chakras, and then there's the 12 chakras, which involves the micro chakras in between. I used to have all these written down on cards when I first did tarot, which is really fucking funny. Um, and then there are the higher and lower realms, you know, throughout that. It's one of the micro ones. Hold on. Bro, I'm gonna have to fucking look it up. I know what you're talking about, and that's what's pissing me off. Why does this place say the higher heart chakra is above the crown? Is that how it is? I never, like... Sorry. I don't go off, like, chakra system. I mean, I know it's just, you know, Sanskrit for wheel. But I go off the Arat system, which is the Egyptian system of the chakras. So I have to like translate this stuff into that for me. Yeah, they'll say like, and then they stop saying directions of the chakras and just say it's around this area. What the fuck you mean it's around the area? You know what I mean? They either go into like, God, like the Jehovah's seals. There's one. I forgot the location. Because there's here, here, one underneath the kneecap, and then right here between the fucking, there's one like in your heart, and there's one here, and I think it's the one in the lymphatic system that's between 2 areas, and they don't describe the area very well unless you know like what you're talking about. But do you balance all your chakras out, work with them? Yeah. Balancing on them, working with them, focusing on them, healing them in that sense. Because an unbalanced chakra either means it's spinning in an opposite direction or it's not spinning at all. When it's spinning in the opposite direction or not spinning as fast as it needs to, it's inactive. When it's not moving at all, it's been completely blocked, right? And each chakra is different, has different spin points for men and women alike. And I can't get to the information. That information's on my phone note. But some chakras spin clockwise for men, and then the same chakra will spin counterclockwise for women, right? That's how we keep that energetic balance, kind of in that regard. Yeah, J seals, Jehovah's seals. Those are the seals that the not the disagreeable Yahwehs, right? The disagreeable Jehovahans put on the beings of this planet to keep them from ascending, to keep them from blocking out, right? Most of your chakra issues come from those seals being implanted and still on you. And they're all implanted on the left side of the body, as thus the left side being the spiritual sense. Very hard for you to concentrate. Have you used color therapy? Have you used frequency work? If you're using frequency work, you don't need to be so focused on it. If you're using color work, set the intention beforehand of being related to that one chakra, right? Like, literally just rise up one day and be like, anything that I eat or come in contact with red is going to help me either identify or unblock my root chakra. You know what I mean? How do you remove J seals? I got you. I'll send the video. There's meditations you can do. There's like Reiki you can do. Me personally, I don't know how to remove J seals. I want to contact my guides, know if that's something I can do with Secum, and if not, then I'm out of luck. Because I got to make sure it falls within those practices, or at least do something to help. Cause I could do a flame cleansing. I don't know how that would be interesting. Anyway, regardless, I'm getting ideas. I should be getting ideas, but I can post that video. Let me get this real quick. Secum. Secum is the healing from Sekhmet, the Egyptian Reiki, the original Reiki, I should say. Well, as original as you can get with what Reiki is, which is just energy healing. It uses the energy of Sekhmet to, to cleanse you with fire in that sense. Yeah, that's what have you tried? Wait, hold on, being so unfocused on online. Well, don't focus on laying down. When you're in that state of being, just allow things to come to you. You getting your thoughts ramped up is not a bad thing. It's just about letting those thoughts exist. That also indicates that there is like a blockage, and that can usually be formed by like guilt or regret. So working through that can also help you. But that's its whole other thing that, I wouldn't necessarily do with chakra work. I would keep those meditations kind of separate because they do go hand in hand, but they're heavy hitters when working on both at once. Man, I'm getting spammed the fuck up. Why are y'all being so antsy? Why am I? Oh, that's something completely different. Hell yeah, that's completely different. I was about to say, why am I getting spammed? I'm working right now, dang it. But yeah, let me get this reading out. I've said that for the past 5 minutes. Let me get this reading out. God, bro. So I'm a broken record some days, I swear. This shit has me cracking up. Alright. So, Saint, your 2 angel cards are Leap of Faith, Archangel Metatron. Believe in yourself, listen to your heart, do what gives you joy. And the Page of Michael, truthful, perspective, analytical, and blunt. An exciting new challenge, you have what it takes to succeed. Review contracts or documents very thoroughly. So yeah, get ready to go on a new leap. This is something that's kind of waving a new path, getting your attention to almost get a heads up for what's about to come down on your path, in a sense. So just kind of pay attention to all the signs that you're getting right now, and spiritualize them. Keep them in the realm of the spiritual. Don't make them physical. Don't attach them to anything physical. Try your best not to, at least, right? Really just allow yourself to see what they're showing you and how they're guiding you. How to see contracts and agreements? Oh, with that, you don't even need to get a tarot card. With that, you just go to the courts. You can either email me. My spiritual court contact is a free service. My spiritual contract that I can write for you, your petition work, costs money. If you're wanting to know what contracts and agreements you're under specifically, that's a bit of a petition work thing, but I can definitely walk you through the steps of how to talk to the courts, depending on what court you're wanting to talk to. But the first method I mentioned was I just basically go to the courts for you and see what's going on. I would literally be a lawyer on your spiritual case. I would have access to what's going on, the issue that you're wanting. I need all your permission for this, of course, which we go over in email, right? It's a whole like little procedure, but I don't tell anyone anything except for you. I give you the signs, the advice, whatever you need to pay attention to for that sense, anything I can get back in return. Inform me about certain things within like past lives if needed. But that's just going and contacting the courts. The actual petition work that I would do, which is a completely different service, but that would demote, that would either remove or increase, or decrease or however, right, things from your contract that you're experiencing or needing, and then I can write a petition to see if we can get that rolling, and that comes with its own stuff as well. But definitely for spiritual court contact, that stuff I do all the time. It also depends again on what court system you're wanting to contact, like the Christian court, the Egyptian court, the native courts, the Mayan courts. There's court systems that spread out fucking forever. You know what I mean? So it all depends on what court system you're wanting to connect with, and also how familiar I am with it. But let me get the J Seal stuff. I can link that J Seal video. No Christian space. I got you. I'm familiar with the Christian court. That was the first court that I used. I'm very familiar with that and how it works. If you're wanting to bring it to the court of the angels, however, that is my specialty. It's a whole other ball game, but it's my specialty. But in any other court would be good. Just let me know and we can work on that. Just send me an email as well and we can work on it. Where is it at? This is the one person I really do trust on this site. When it comes down, because this person, she's really knowledgeable. She has a lot of good meditations. Oh my god, she does. I got you on payday. You gotta email you back. I got it. Fuck, dude, I'm awful with emailing people back. I'm sorry, but you don't gotta pay nothing for it. It's free. It's donation based. What makes it different is contacting the courts. I keep free. It's the petition work that costs, because that's a whole ritual I gotta do. It don't cost money to do the ritual, but it takes me about an hour and a half to like fully complete. But I got you. I got you back with the email. Yeah, you can hit me up on Discord. You can hit me up on Discord too if you need. I respond to emails. I just there are just days where I don't respond to anyone. That's just something weird. But yeah, if you want the Discord, let me know and I can get you with that. Because there's 3 emails I know for sure that I have starred. I just haven't replied to them yet. One of them I have to think about. One of them I really have to sit back and think about. Is it even going to be good or not? But yeah, I can email you back. I got you. I usually send like a little emoji. I really usually do just like an emoji back to people, let them know that I get it. It's a really bad habit. I just get so distracted with shit, dude. Who the hell is messaging me now? Oh, no one's messaging me. It's just my entire screen is going crazy. That's just on Discord. Oh, that was you? What? Oh! Okay, I got pinged in 2 different servers at once. I was like, who the hell pinged me again? Because I seen yours in the server, but then I had like another person. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, let me, bruh. Let me. Where did you go? Where'd you go? Oh, you already did send me a request for the. Man, I'm just slow. I'm just slow. Following a ghost, you know it. I'm following a ghost. I ain't know what I'm doing. But yeah, here, let me get, let me get y'all's, let me get y'all's fucking, your cards. For shadow work, sure, Joy. Would you want to use the normal tarot or any other deck? Let me know. I want you to focus on when it comes to spirituality. Your first card is the 6 of Cups. Mainly focus on how your actions are able to come back to benefit you. You may be a really big giver, and though that's good, and though the feeling of giving people a good day can feel good, what is it actually giving you back? Because it's not about being selfless, it's about being helpful in that sense, right? And you can only help people who are going to receive it. And that's really a starting point for healing, like a receiving wound or wounds of being able to receive things. So really stay attentive to that. Allow yourself to know that you're able to give to yourself. Your actions are able to boost you up and benefit you, just as much as they, is just as much on the physical, as they can in the spiritual. But yeah, if you need to find my services, Fred, you can hit my email. If you're wanting a 2-card read, they are free. Let me paste that stuff back in. I don't really post this stuff anymore like I used to. And with the Page of Cups, the way that you're going to do this in the kind of challenge that you're going through with the Page of Cups is learning who you are. You're going to learn how to speak to yourself on an emotional sense, on a feeling sense, not an emotional, but a feeling sense. Learn to feel things out within your body. Learn to know how you operate. Learn yourself. Learn how you feel when it comes to other people's opinions about you and your life, but stay grounded in what brings you joy. It's okay that people disagree with you. Don't allow yourself to like morph and form into other people's likings. And where am I from? For real? For real? For where am I from? My mother and my father is where I'm from, for real. If you gotta know. And if you're talking about nationality, good luck. I don't know everything. I don't know my bare root. I know enough to take me back to the lands of Kemet, but where I'm from is my mom and my dad. That's where my flesh came from. My spirit, last place I know, my last place my soul came from, was fucking Orion's Belt, Sirius B, baby. Other than that, I don't know where I live. But yeah, two card pulls are free, Fred, if you're wanting one of those. So Shadow, and then we have Destiny. All right, good. We're all caught up. We're moving. I don't have my list out today. I'm not writing nothing down. I'm winging it. So your first card, Julia, is the Queen of Cups. Allow things around you to nurture you. There's a lot of things that haven't quite started. And it's not ideas, it's ideas being put into action. Not quite solid enough to be a thought form, but they're moving around. There's just things, I want to do this, I want to do that. There's this that could happen. There's that could happen. You know, why hasn't this happened yet? All these sort of like small, like beginning bubbling up thoughts that are happening around you at this time. Really allow them to nurture you. See, and this is kind of like a big issue within shadow work in general. Is just getting to that point of seeing your mind and not letting its first few barks explode you. Not letting those first two, I said explode, letting those first few thoughts like corrupt you in that sense, better term. Allow things to start out for you. You might have a hard time trusting beginnings or feeling like the beginning of things are going to work out really well as also, which is something that shadow work can help you with as well. This has a lot to do with beginnings. It's the beginning of everything. It's trusting you're beginning to create is what your shadow work is doing. Is can you trust what you're creating? Do you have enough trust in yourself to take an idea to walk down a path that you're walking down? Or do you still need to learn lessons so that you can trust yourself? Are you still able to allow yourself to know that you can give birth to things? You know, that womb wound, excuse me, that a lot of people have when it comes to creation. They have a womb wound where they're unable to create what they want in life because they haven't sat down and dealt with it fully. So really focus on that. I got you, Fred. Ibrahim, cards are not read for in that sort of sense. Tarot is not derived from that pipeline, unfortunately. But yeah, just trust yourself and able to create things. Work with more of a grand being of self. Like, know that you are the creator. Don't remove yourself from that operation. What does the Ankh mean? Life. It is life. It is a lot of things. The Ankh means a lot of things to a lot of different people. But Ankh is life. It is the feminine. It is the mother given birth. It's actually the correct way for women to give birth. Standing with their elbows out, with their hands out on their knees. But that's just like laws of gravity and stuff. I gotta do more readings. What am I doing? It slipped my mind again. Right. We're not using this deck anymore. That's why I'm not doing things right. My brain's like, no, you're not supposed to do that yet. We're supposed to be getting the angel cards for Destiny. I almost forgot. But yeah, I got your 2-card Destiny. Then I'll get yours, Fred. Did you have anything in specific that you wanted it about, Fred, or just in general? And I'll get you, bro. Destiny, you know how it is over here. It's like this. I could have a non-busy day and be off my rocker like this, but then have like a semi-busy day and be locked in. That, like, you know what I mean? And then other days it's the exact opposite. I'm locked in on small days and then like all over the place on other ones, dude. It's a movie over here. Every day is different. But Destiny, your cards is the Moon Archangel Hanael, the opportunity to improve your plans, listen to your intuition for accurate guidance, face your fears, and learn to grow stronger. In perspective, which is Archangel Shamuel. There's a better way, pause for reflection and insight, dare to be different. So, walk your own path. Know that you're able to walk your path. Know that things aren't as hard as they need to be. And really just ask yourself the end goal. What is your goal? What are you truly desiring to receive? What's the end? And it's not even receive on the physical. Just what are you trying to accomplish or achieve internally as well? What's the feeling that you want to feel? Remember that goal and allow that to push you forward. And how am I? I'm doing very, very well. I'm doing very well. How are you doing? The general will be fine. I got you. I got you with the general then. And then after this, I might have to get off and do some other things. But right now, Fred, the first card we have out is Death, showing that there is a renewal that is happening. There is a old part of you that is shedding. There is an old version of your ruling self, an old empire that you might have built up that is falling apart. This is a time to kind of allow yourself to be in humiliation if you're not used to being in a feeling of humiliation in that sense. Not in a sense to be a laughing stock to anyone in particular, but to allow yourself to have grace and be humble in this time of transition. Allow yourself to just kind of see where you went right, where you went wrong, where people in your life made you steer right and steer wrong. However, it is for you. Allow yourself to just be purified at this time. The white rose is really significant as well, or a white lily, I should say, even, or a lily. Regardless, has a lot to do with peace and protection when it comes to self. With the king, it's even this part of you that's transforming even as your thoughts, this king state. The butterflies on the back, meaning that you're transformative. The clouds below the head, meanings that your head is above the clouds. The sword is in the right hand, and the knee that is more propped up has the left hand on it holding nothing, signifying that the invisible, the mother, is what's guiding you. Though your thoughts are sharp as sword and you have them fully matured, it's time to just let the feeling side of you guide at this time. It's time to allow the feminine energies around you, within you, and the feminine energies that you're calling upon to kind of like surround you and support you as you end up trusting yourself. It's kind of giving me the strength card, but the lion and walking action. Instead of the lion being frozen looking up, it's the lion like walking with the feminine. I would say you're kind of on that stage of, at least if not just now beginning to kind of trust the path that you're walking on at this time. All right. But if no one has anything else, I will probably have to jump off of here real quick. And I'll be back tomorrow. I will actually be back tomorrow because I'm setting an alarm. And if I have to, I'll take another nap. But if anyone needs any more readings before I head off, let me know. Or any questions, let me know. I don't have to hop off immediately. And welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, I'll just let that play. Could I give you a tarot card reading? What do you want it on and I can get you? You're having a debate on blood magic? Oh boy. What about it? The ethics or what? Oh god, dude. Blood magic can go one way or another when you're talking about it. I love it. I'm gonna say not for you. Word. Beautifully done. No worries, no worries. But yeah, what about blood magic? You know, how is it made? What is its roots? Things of that nature. I don't know its roots. I know a little bit of its roots, but not too much. I know forms. You wanted a shadow deck, and I'm over here holding the angel deck. I'm not clocked. I'm bad. I was ready to clock out. My brain's not even working. What's the purpose of blood magic? Either attach or to make binds. It can also be to certify things in a more dire situation. You know, the saying, by the blood of thine hands. That's kind of where that comes from, where you literally, like, you did it, you were caught red-handed, you know, you put your prints on the paper. Some people do it for contracting, but regardless, red is usually a color of, like, absolution. So you would use blood to, like, not only bind it to who you are, because your blood is not just what your vessel owns, it's part of who you are. You kind of bind yourself to it in that sense. Even ethnicities? Well, I mean, tattoos are blood magic. You know what I mean? Do you agree or disagree with tattoos? Is kind of what I'm asking with that point. You know, not even to say that it's, right or wrong. Just, do you agree with tattoos, and do you have a tattoo? And if you do have a tattoo, were you aware of that being blood magic? And if not, we can talk about it. Shadow deck. Yeah. What do you want the reading on in the shadow deck? Everyone wants a reading. What deck do you want it from? Hold on. Let me clock back in real quick. Let me start asking questions. Let me start getting back in. I'm in high priority. I get that. But yeah, tattoos are blood magic. Tattoos can also be sigils. You see, I've met a lot of... Dude, I don't know why some people do with Lilith. I see a lot of people with Lilith tattoos. I seen someone with the Azeroth, like, sigil tattoo, and that shit was crazy. I was like, damn. I said, okay, you got your shit straight then, huh? Oh, shit. That's what's up. Fucking flew out the deck. He said, nope. Oh, my lord. Yeah, but even then, like, with good and bad, what makes you define things as good and bad? What does it skew for you? Because in order for things to be good and evil, one must have both in them, which is what the Elohim meant when they said we have made them like us, both agreeable and disagreeable. In order to be like the beings that created you, you gotta play that same role, which, even though they created you, look at those same beings create other beings to experiment on, and taking it down that pipeline a little bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, Yvette, what would you want the reading on? Harris, what would you want the deck for? And that's it. But blood magic can also be used for protection and cleansing as well. There are lizards that shoot blood out the eyes as a defense mechanism. It is scalding blood, though. And then you can use it as protection, cleansing for other reasons. But that's dealing with... That's more of like a feminine thing, to do the cleansing with blood. That takes your yoni blood. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you just put that all on your face, make it into a little mask. There's more steps than that, please, okay? But you can do it that way. You can use blood to make boundaries. You can use blood to hex someone. And you can put a curse on someone with your blood if you know what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm still alive. I'm about to get off. We about to hop off. Only if you feel called to share. Only if you feel card. Nice. That's a funny pun. Only if you feel called to share. I mean, it's so bizarre to live in a world where you literally just have to say, like, the literal answer for it is look at nature. It's like you don't even have to use Google. Just look outside. What animal does that? What animal, like, there's a lizard that shoots blood out. Well, did you know that blood can be used for protection? That's what it's doing. That's a purpose of it. There ain't no difference between your blood and that blood, other than that dude made his blood scalding fucking hot and turned it into like basically like plasma and shot it at you, and then you can't do that. But you have it. I'm not going that far, but you got a candle and you got lighters, and that can get shit burnt up too. You know what I mean? Any videos about Wicca? No, not really. I don't really mess with Wicca. I have Wicca family members. I have friends who are into Wicca. Me, not my path of choice. Yeah, don't eat the spaghetti. God, no. Jesus Christ, dude. Someone offers you spaghetti when you're at the house the first time, get up and leave. Just go home. Say, nah, that's too much of a flag for me. I'm done. Why y'all eating? Y'all got more than pasta here. What the fuck? Like, come on, let's go out somewhere. I deal with it. No, but your angel cards, Harris, are the perspective Archangel Shamuel. There's a better way. Pause for reflection or insight. Dare to be different. And the Queen of Raphael, kind, understanding, giving, and psychic. Follow your heart. A love for home and family. Trustworthy psychic information. Listen to your intuition. The situation that you're in can definitely be revolved around, or you can see a better way of leaving a situation that's trying to be shown to you, but there needs to be an intuitive point of guidance and a wider spectrum of looking at. If you didn't know, you're fine. Well, if you feel pressure from that individual, there's cleansing that you can do. If you don't, then don't. It's literally like it is a traditional thing to not eat spaghetti at people's house or eat like pasta at people's house. That's like an old African like hoodoo, voodoo, just whole African spirituality thing. Not to fuck with that. That's where that roots from. So that's why I say it for that reason. I wasn't raised in a household, but I was raised with the influences of knowing not to let that transpire. Um, but really, you can remove that by prayers because that's just a form of a hex. Is you can do prayers to remove that. You can use lemon juice and salt to remove that. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a dire, awful situation, but some people will do fucked up shit like that. You just gotta watch out, you know? Not to cause fear. Yeah, you can read Psalms. Psalms, what is it? Psalms 23, Psalms 17, Psalms 19, or Psalms 91. I believe those are numbers. I said 21, right? I think I did. Dude, I shut off. My brain shut off completely. That was after that one. Okay. Let me get to the other reading from literally you, Yvette. Thank you for messaging. Because I was like, I was about to say, who am I reading for again? And it was like, wait, it's literally you. Because I was answered. Yeah, read 21. Read 21. Or 91. For sure. I think 82 would be a good one as well. Dude, I'm so weird with Psalms. I don't really use Psalms anymore, so I haven't been in the practice with it. I have like other like things I do. But off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much rest I've been having. You would not believe how much rest I've been having. Unfortunately, this is just who I am as a triple air sign. I'm all over the place, and I'm also extremely detached. It's weird. It's really weird. And it makes it even weirder that I'm literally observing myself do it at the same time. No, that's not a bad thing at all. It's just like, it's just what I am. There's not much I can do. Yeah, you can use crushed up eggshells as well. So I just usually mention salt because a lot of people have salt handy. I don't really know what people's kitchens look like. And I don't expect everyone to have like all the herbs and stuff. But yeah, you can use crushed up eggshells. You can use pepper. Fuck, dude. You don't even use. You can use pepper straight up. You can use cayenne pepper. You can use like hot pepper flakes. Shit, man. You want to get some defense up? You want to do something like that? Go for it. Have fun. Be careful. Do divination. Be careful. It is a way to, dude. Waste not, be not, right? Dude, I got Aquarius right. Listen, the way that the zodiacs are lined out from the signs being cardinal to really to mutable. Why did that word not come to my mind? Anyway, from it being from cardinal to mutable, they're in order. I'm Libra Sun, Aquarius Moon, and Ascendant Gemini. I'm in order, but it's not fun. And thank you for the flower, Blossom Divine. But yeah, I'm in order, dude. My Libra and my Gemini bicker constantly, and I just detach from it. I can't deal with it. They gotta figure it out. I don't have to. I'll get my shit done and then worry about it later. Okay, anyway, back to the reading. Holy shit. Archons. Your first card is Archons, Yvette, which is intrigue, provocateurs, gossip, negativity, envy, inferiority complex, sacrifice, sharp tongue, trash talk, a bossy person, a dictator, a sly person, a negative environment, a bossy person. So just kind of watch around. With 7 even popping up, look around you and look at the forces that are around you at this time, Yvette. If people feel pushy, if something feels like it's trying to be rushed upon you or placed upon you, take note of it. There's something about, it's not to push you away or push you out of your comfort zone, but it's still a way to make you aware of what you need to do when it comes to removing certain individuals from your life. There could have been a brief period of shadow work that you were going through as well that's allowed this to go through, is kind of what I'm picking up as well, with 7 just being there with resting. So really take time to see what all has moved forward. And then we have parsley, basil, fern, which is good. I like seeing that come after the Archon, honestly. That means security, good physical and mental health, happiness, prosperity, the power of love, richness, fertility, the well-being of family, exposing malicious actions, delimiting our boundaries, and nature's protection. So you are heavily protected. This is about exposing the ones around you who are kind of causing you issues. But it's also keeping you in a state of cleansing out the old, keeping you in a more stable state of being. You know what I mean? So just allow the individuals around you right now, if they are acting up or if things aren't working out the right way, allow them just to do what they need to do and observe it from a point of view of saying, this is what I'm removing from myself. What can I do to just keep this energy away from me now? Not involving spell work, not involving anything of that nature. Just what can I do to keep myself grounded mentally and emotionally at this time so that I don't attach myself back to it. Where can I learn real depolarize? So I have not came across a book, Pathfinder, but I did once upon a time meet a PDF file. And that PDF file was on my laptop that was stolen, unfortunately. But it had a lot of the correct zodiac information. Mars is the first planet you have to get to before you get to heaven. Mars is the Martian, the 4 laws of life. Alchemy is Mars planet, right? It goes from it goes from fire to water to air to earth, right? That's all about Mars. To get to God, to even get anywhere through the first gate of heaven, you have to make it through Mars. Are you following the law of nature? If you're not following the laws of nature, how the fuck are you gonna get to the next step, right? That's what I learned from the book, heavily. I don't remember what it's called. I have to do digging for it. I do know my mentor also knows about it in this sense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick his brain about it and then make videos on it. Because he's doing his own thing, making videos about stuff, and I have permission to relay information. With the laws of nature, they correspond with the 12 universal laws. The 4 laws of nature is simply just alchemy. Air goes into water, fire goes into water, water goes into air, and then air turns into your physical matter, right? Those are your 4 laws, your 4 corners, your 4 winds, elements, etc., right? That's what Mars is working with, right? When it comes down to it. And it's less about how those things act upon you and control you during your time on Earth. That's your struggle, is the 4 elements. How do you cooperate with those 4 elements? And you see that same law happen again with Saturn, where Saturn's the devourer of all things made within time and matter, which time and matter relates with the 4 elements. Anything dealing with 4 relates with time and matter, because that's your 4th dimension, is dealing with time on top of matter, no longer just having it being a physical experience, but something that has a desperation date or expiration date, desperation, expiration, whatever, right? And that's what you're messing with within those things. But you see it again happen in Saturn, because Saturn destroys everything that's within time and matter. That's why things don't work out. That's one of the laws. That's the whole thing. Look, you can look up the story behind Saturn as well. Venus is not a feminine planet. Venus is a masculine planet. Taurus and Libra are masculine signs. I don't know why or who the fuck got love mixed up with a feminine thing. Love can be masculine too, and Venus is 1000% a masculine planet. People want to say it's feminine. Nah, it's masculine. Why? If it's feminine, why the 2 signs that operate it masculine? It's a masculine planet. It's a Luciferian planet, but people don't want to go down that deep either. That's a whole other thing, though. That's going down like, that's going down almost every pipeline. Finding out Venus is known as like the planet of the Luciferians, and that's not to now. This is where the areas get a little gray right here. It's not to say that because it's hard to even say it like that. The Luciferians and the Satanists are the ones let me say this the right way. Holy shit. There's a siren playing out. I don't know if you heard that horn outside, but I got to be careful how I say this because I can't put all the blame on one thing. There are people who are Satanists and there are people who are Luciferians who are in control of this realm, which is why there's such a strong attack on where those beings came from on this realm, because what they're in control over is what's going to keep us in our lower vibrations and our lower chakras if we don't overcome them, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what we're messing with within those realms. What is going on up in here? I'm getting spammed. Bruh, hold on. I'm not gonna respond to him. He's getting antsy. Oh yeah, no. It's not hidden at all. It's very not, Steven. But you have to talk about it. Well, you don't have to. I don't want to talk about it in that sense. It's not hidden at all. Venus is very much known as the morning star. People just don't like hearing it because they are worried about Westernization instead of Eastern studies, which is where all studies came from, was Eastern. In fact, there really wasn't an Eastern. It was all Central at one point. And then instead of cooperation, it got fucked up. And for the next cycle, what do you mean by the collective? I hope that the collective of people that came here chose to do that. You know what I mean? Not everyone that came down is going back up. Some people are gonna be stuck down here, dude, because they just did not fucking remember, or they decided to just throw that shit away. You know what I mean? It's the first cycle of the truth. Oh yeah, with that final line being that Pathfinder, that's definitely some insight to go with. So that can even just be a nudge of showing you like this is what you needed to do as well. Yeah, it is well with Daniel. It all depends on what cycle you get stuck within. Because we are here to be tested in that sort of sense, but it's a very bizarre way of it going that way. I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna let y'all run with it, because I don't know how ready some people are able to hear what I'm about to say. A lot of the creators that are overseeing this realm are looking at us like an illegal dogfight club. I really want to like say it like that, because there are beings out there that just make bets. They're like, what if what if we put this into them and make them do that, and then that happens? That's kind of dealing with Archons and the egregores and stuff, but there's beings that make bets on us to see if we're going to follow the right rule or not. The whole battle between God and the devil is a gambling proposal that they made in between each other, of saying, oh, if your children are really going to come back to you, then why don't we put a bet on it? If you're so real about it, then why don't you put money on it? Like, okay, fine. If they go to you, you get to keep them. If they come to me, I get to keep them. We ain't gonna lose shit. We're just gonna see what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. See, I'm not. That's why I'm trying to be careful with it, Dan. I'm gonna get my face beat in for saying it. I'm gonna get my face beat in for that one, dude. Next thing you know, no, I'm done. No, but for real, like that's what's going on. So it's not that we're being tested about between good and evil. We're really being tested to see how agreeable we'll be with ourselves. How much do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to truly not be bothered by anything on this world, or do you care too much about others? And that's really what it's going down to. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just, Where do you stand? And being able to stand on that platform strongly is what we're trying to get at. You're not good or bad for being in the position that you're in. That's for you to talk to yourself with when you die. For right now, can you stand where you're standing and know that you're standing there for good reason? Or do you know that you have malicious intent underneath it and you're just standing there anyway because it's holding you up? Right? That's like what you're trying to test yourself on, really, here. If you can stay centered in yourself and you can know that what you're doing is good for you, hell yeah, good. Keep it that way. Fuck what anyone else says, you're doing it for you. Awesome. Keep it moving. Right? If you do it for someone else, why'd you do that? Was it fear? Was it a lack of not being seen? Not trying to be mean, just to get down to the bottom of it so we can work through it, right? Because you shouldn't have to be a slave to anyone else. You're already a slave to the government. You're already a slave to the parts of you that you don't like involving yourself with, right? So what's keeping that keep happening? What's keeping you from stopping that? And that's what we're testing on: is, are you brave enough to work on through these things so that they aren't holding you back? Or do you want to stay there with the blindfold over top of you, not seeing what's really there? You know what I mean? Who are you? Oh, that's who you are. Bro, all a twin flame is a mirror. People like, I think that's the funniest shit about this realm, is the twin flame is literally just a twin of yours. What is a flame? Light. It's your light twin. It's the twin showing you who you are. Dude, so many people want to say my twin flame's evil. No, honey, that was literally a part of you. You have just grown so conditioned in that way of being that when someone else did it, it made you mad. They brought light to something that you were doing either to yourself or to others and feeling like it was okay. That's the tough part about twin flames. You don't need a twin flame. You are your twin flame. If you can just talk to yourself and know yourself, you have your one and true only twin flame, which is the feminine side of you that is being ignored. And it's always the feminine side that's ignored because guess what? We live in a realm where we're not taught how to feel our feelings and how to express ourselves in a healthy way. And we're told not to cry. So what are all those things that are nurturing us and getting those feelings out in a way that's going to benefit us? That's the feminine side of us, the part that we're not paying attention to. That's the whole operation. Keep you in man mode, keep you working, working, working. Make the men feel like they don't need women, and make the women fear men, so that one side just doesn't want women because, oh, they cheat, and the other side don't want men because men are abusive and scary. So now no one's going to reproduce. What happens when no one reproduces? They can start creating things again. They start creating things. The population dies down. They revitalize new fucking clones of people at that point, right? These are reptilians that just want adrenochrome. Not all of them are reptilians. They're out there. They're different beings that just simply just want adrenochrome. They want the life source that keeps people alive. And whether they have to make them with clones or drag them from news media outlets that they force people to watch daily, they're gonna get that shit. They ain't gonna outright kill everyone for it, but they'll damn sure make their supply extend as much as they got to. Nah, exactly. Women are picking the bear. Because it's like you got men that want to be lazy because they can't. And I'm saying it like that for a reason, not saying that they are, right? You have men wanting to be lazy because they're overworking, and you have women wanting to work because they've been forced into a position of not working. If you go into like African traditions, the woman is usually doing a lot more work than the men. And that's not to say that that's how it needs to be, but there's a nurturing element that the female brings when in their masculine energy, and there is a comforting safety energy that the masculine produces when in their feminine energy. And when those two energies are aligned with each other, that creates an entirely different effect. I don't know what it's called, but it creates an entirely different effect. It creates a chain reaction, and that's what we need to bring life back together. This is why so many people now are getting in tune with their feminine energies because we're not used to it anymore. We have to become okay with us nurturing ourselves and living on ourselves to even accept it from someone else. Because you can be in a marriage of like 20 years and still be like, I don't know, I think you might be cheating on me. All because someone cheated on you in second grade and you're worried about that still, right? That makes an improper and impure relationship. It's built off of fear because now you're afraid to leave due to finding out that cheating could happen. All these like small, like little tiny things that trauma lingers onto and holds onto is why we're unable to move forward on and with stuff. Like people really have to get their fucking heads together. It has nothing to do with race. Get your head out your ass. It has nothing to do with gender. Get your head out your ass. It has everything with about us just working together. You don't have to like them. Just cooperate. They have a brick that you need to fucking use to build whatever the fuck you're building. You better let them put that brick down, or you're both getting fucked, and no one's gonna win. You know what I mean? That's the whole divide and conquer. You know, can't beat them, join them. They don't want to join. Well, then fuck. They both lost then. They don't have someone to help, and they're not helping no one, so they both lost. I win, because I get to dictate. No one can stop me. I get to move forward. That's what's going on. Like, it's not rocket science. But the way that the game is played in the Matrix point of view is so fucking, like, maniacal. It's bizarre, dude. Because it's literally, you'll listen to both sides argue. It's the same fucking shit. And you're just like, why don't you come together and stop them? Oh, I would, but I don't like them. Who gives a shit? It's rocket surgery. It fucking is, dude. I'll tell you that much. But other than that, it ain't nothing. Stop to swear. Mute me. I ain't stopping nothing for no one. Came to the wrong chat. No, but for real, it's so bizarre, man. Like, and that's the thing. We get it. Like, it's not even the fact that you have to be chosen or awoke to see this shit. You just get it because it's like, dude, why aren't we working together? We have to literally let our frustration at everyone not working together create a hive mind so that we begin to work together. That's literally the whole keeping a messiah from being brought up. Because if a messiah can be brought up to bring their people together, it's over. They know this world's built off of an egregore, and everyone's egregores, oh, we have to work more to receive more. What do you think I'm trying to do with this shit? I want to rewrite this shit. I don't want to live this under this spell no more. I know what's going on. I wanted to get rid of parts of it. Let me do that shit, right? At the end of the day, if we can all come together and have a mindset of, you know what, maybe this should happen. Imagine what we could do. Like, dude. But no, everyone's like, oh, I don't like them. They work with that god. And so did your great-great-grandpappy. Shut the fuck up and help them. Like, stay within your own regimen, stay in your comfort zone, but stop bashing on someone that works with energies that you don't work with, but could save your ass and even help you through stuff. Like, work together. No one wants to be here. I don't think we've all forgot that. No one wants to be here. Not even the fucking clones want to be here, dude. No one likes it here. It's miserable the way that they like it. So can we come together, admit that it's miserable so we can change it, and then either they leave or we leave. Either way, someone's leaving, and then this place gets to get rebuilt in some other new fashion for whoever to deal with whenever that time comes, right? But no one wants to talk about it like this because they can't accept it. It's like, oh, now I feel stupid because my issues didn't really mean a damn thing. No, they didn't. So wake up and let's start walking again. Okay? We took a little 30-minute break, but time to get back. Please, can we start walking again? This is a long-ass path we're walking down. But that's how it is. No, we literally like, oh my god. Because we're just now, like, look, people are just now waking up to the idea of reincarnation. So guess what that means? The reincarnation wheel is going to be breaking soon. What does that mean? You're no longer going to be forced into reincarnation on this realm based off your actions of this realm. That's a law that was put down eons ago and has stayed within strict Doesn't mean that law is going to be broken. It's going to be changed according to the individual that it rules over. Mm-hmm. That's another thing, Daniel. Like literally, like you have all these herbalists, you have all these walks of life, you have all these people who are like extremely prolific in their life. They just don't want to stand next to someone that has a disagreeable interaction. And it's like, dude, how are you so wise yet fall so short from the tree? Not trying to be mean, but the first bit of wisdom should simply just be the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. Just don't be a dick. If they're a dick to you, don't be one back. And if they continue doing it, tell them to fuck off. Set that boundary and then leave. Like, just don't cut someone off immediately. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the benefit of the doubt and just an agreement of coming together. Do you think that 13 bloodlines like each other? Or do you think that they're just getting along because they all have equal power and know that they can change things and they come to small agreements while they have meetings and shit? You know what I mean? Like, really think about this stuff. Wisdom chases you are faster. No, actually, shut up. That's so funny. We try and keep it cool over here. We keep it as real as we can. We really do. I know a lot, but I don't know too much at the same time, and I keep it real. I don't like being serious all the time, but I definitely put my foot down when it needs to be. I'll leave a trail of flying monkeys, hush. That shit funny. Nah, the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. Leaving a trail of them. Oh no. Their message. It's been deleted. May the power of your words face the power of my finger. Go somewhere else. We're on two different playing fields, buddy. You got the power of the tongue, but I got the finger. I got the black hand, the shadow hand. You can't do nothing about that. It's a game, dude. I ain't got time. I got laughs, I got smiles. I ain't got time. I got too much of that. I got a whole ass eternity. I gotta make it fun somehow. I can't be having none of that up in the chat. Don't be trying to damn me somewhere. Yeah, I used you activated my trap card looking. Exactly. See, exactly. Exactly, Pathfinder, dude. Like, you can't say don't turn the mediums and magic for help, but then also go, hey Moses, I want you to turn this piece of wood into a snake in front of the Pharaoh's face and freak them the fuck out. And if they don't do it, I'll kill their children. What the hell? So you telling this man to take a I don't know magic. Get your fucking brother to do it. The fuck? Get your brother. Tell your brother to turn that stick into a snake in front of the Pharaoh. And if he don't accept it, I'm killing all his kids. and I'll make it rain frogs. Like the fuck, man. Okay, I guess. Who are you? I am. You're what? I am. Go tell him that. See how they like that? Tell him I am. Okay. Who sent you? It was he. It is he who called himself I am. Okay. What'd you want? Fucking do the thing, Aaron. God, got one job. Throw the stick on the ground. What the fuck? Oh my god, brother. You're fine. You're fine, Daniel. Yeah, and then hey God, I want wisdom. Okay, here's literally every seal for the angels and demons that you need. Go have fun. Okay. Yeah, go. Just go. You didn't want money. You just wanted to have like be wise. So here's like literally every demon and how to control them. Here's literally every angel how to control them. Here's just the sciences of life. Go have fun. Okay. Thanks. Huh? No, what I'm mocking is completely plagiarized from my way of life. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let the sirens do speaking for me though. I ain't gonna say a damn thing. I ain't gonna say a damn thing. Man, people hear the word dragon and they kind of just push away the fact that each corner of the earth has its own dragon and they all have one main job, which is protecting something. So it's like, I don't get it. Yeah, that's the thing. We have to test these things. That's why I go around and like do my research and study until I have like conclusive evidence of things. I'm never gonna say a damn thing. Yeah, you probably also shouldn't call a child a raw satanic. That's kind of like I'll talk to my mama about you. No, I won't. I ain't taking nothing to the courts about this shit. It ain't funny. We just having fun. No, but here soon I do gotta get off. I said I was gonna get off like an hour ago. How the hell are you gonna say the T-Rex wasn't real, but you're gonna say that they had the same arms as animals with wings? Were they real or were they not real? Anyway, I gotta get off. I gotta go do my stuff. I'm having a lot of fun over here, y'all. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Because I mean, they have photos of dragons and shit. Those are real. Like those aren't even like, dude. The Vatican fucking has paintings of dragons and shit, dude. Um, but regardless, I am gonna end this stream here. I'm gonna go do my things. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do 2 streams tomorrow if I'm able to. Um, but regardless, I love you all so much for being here. Well, thank you for the newcomers that came in. Thank you for everyone that has stopped by. It's always truly a pleasure, as always will be. Wait. Okay, hold on. I'm waiting. I'll finish it, but I'll wait. The email is in there if you need to email me. The donation links are there if you want to email me. My website's there if you want to get services from me. I have more services on that site now. So if you're wanting to see what my other services may involve, you can go there. I'm still adding some more too. Hit you up on DMs. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna do my things. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for again the donations that came through. I truly mean it's the world to me. But I love each and every one of y'all. To moon and back, tenfold and forever, and I will see you.